In 2005, it is the first of 3 executions set for the same day across the country today. Executions also set for Alabama and Tennessee. Concern for U.S. sailors deployed to the Middle East 9 months into their mission. The Navy Times and Stars and Stripes reporting that multiple service members have tried to jump overboard after describing moldy showers, broken toilets, and a lack of hygiene products. ABC News contributor Mick Mulroy.
It really set a record for continuous days at sea, so without a port call. And that causes a lot of the issues, of course, because supplies run very short and days become essentially continuous. But it's important also to point out that this crew has done an exceptional job at carrying out the mission.
More strong thunderstorms in the Midwest. Nearly 9 feet of rain fell in areas east of Indianapolis. This is ABC News. New York Governor Kathy Hochul responding to new actions by the Trump administration, not renewing federal contracts with nearly 100 legal service providers that represent unaccompanied minors through the immigration process. In response, the governor says the state will spend more than $7 million of its own dollars as there are 1,400 unaccompanied minors in New York alone.
These cruel, depraved decisions can be a death warrant for our kids, whose only sin was being born in poverty or in a country consumed with political violence, and their parents decide they're better off leaving.
Leaving the White House, Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt, who says she wants to spend more time with her young family. Tropical storm Lala is formed in the Pacific. A hurricane watch has been issued for the big island of Hawaii, where they could get heavy rain, high winds, and dangerous surf starting Friday. I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
2 homicide investigations in just a week in Parkland. We'll explain more about that. But first, we've got your KIRO Newsradio real-time traffic. And we are looking fairly good with the exception of the northbound 405 ramp to eastbound I-90. That is still closed. There's a long-term closure there because of an overturned semi, but they've got sweepers there, I'm told, and they're looking to clean that up. Elsewhere, we have pretty medium, although long backups. Medium meaning it's not bumper to bumper, but the slowing is kind of a long area. 405 northbound through the S-curves leading up to that ramp closure. I-5, the slowing starts from about Boeing Field getting into downtown, but it's red and yellow, not in the black. The West Seattle Bridge is pretty backed up all the way across the span, and your southbound drive into Seattle backs up all the way to almost to the county line, which has become about average for this time of year. This report is brought to you by KIRO Newsradio.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Jillian Raftery. This week marks 2 homicide investigations in Parkland. We get the latest from KIRO 7 TV's Dee Dee Sun with details on a shooting reported last night.
Deputies say they got the call about a shooting around 6 o'clock yesterday on 18th Avenue South. When they got there, they found a man and started life-saving measures, but he died at that scene. Deputies did not release any information about a suspect, only saying there is no danger to the public.
In a separate investigation is underway into a man found shot to death inside a shed on Monday on the 1700 block of 168th Street East. Bullets ripped through an unmarked police car Wednesday evening, leading to the arrest of 3 people. We're hoping to find out more today about the suspects and what led up to it. The Seattle Police Department says plainclothes officers were following a stolen car, tracking down leads in a separate case when someone opened fire around 5:30 in the South End. None of the officers were hit. The suspects sped off, crashed, then
one did try to carjack another vehicle, which the officer was able to catch all 3 suspects.
Police tell KIRO 7 TV those 3 suspects were arrested. 4 people were hospitalized, including one of the officers, 2 suspects, and a bystander whose car was hit. The effort to recall Seattle Mayor Katie Wilson faces an uphill battle. Right now, it's undergoing a technical review by the prosecutor's office. Then it goes to a judge. Then it has to get 70,000 signatures before it goes to a ballot. The North Seattle couple that filed the recall petition says the mayor is derelict in her duty to public safety. Now, here is a good news story. All day today, a dental Dental Clinic in Sumner is giving away free services. Dr. April Zigley has been doing a free clinic every year. This year, though, she has 4 other dental teams working with her at her Smile Studio offices and expects to perform tens of thousands of dollars in pro bono treatments. This effort is supported by the Randall Morris Foundation and former NFL players who will be there to help kids feel more at ease. This is a first come, first serve service until 5 p.m. today at Zigley Smile Studio on Main Street East in Sumner. And gas prices, it's not your imagination. They have been going up. According to AAA, the state average is $5.16. That is 18 cents higher than last month. The national average is $4.07, the highest for this time of year in recorded history. Now we're going to check on your weather forecast. 80 degrees, morning clouds giving way to afternoon sun, but hazy skies throughout the day today and hazy sun as well tomorrow with a high of 81. It's 63 degrees right now in downtown Seattle. I'm Jillian Raftery for KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Gee and Ursula Show. Gee is out today, but look who's in. Angela Poe Russell.
Yeah, guess who's coming to dinner? Here I am. Good morning, Ursula.
Good morning. We have a big show for you, as we always like to say, coming up at 9:47. This is going to be a fun conversation because you noticed you were watching a show and you said, man, there's a lot of swearing.
Oh, yeah.
Has cursing, especially cursing on TV, not so much radio, but just regular TV, has it gone too far? And has swearing just become too commonplace?
Right. Is it time for us to kind of dial it back?
Yeah. Reel it in. I think I know where you're going to fall. And I'm just going to say I am someone who is guilty. I know people are going to go, what, you? But yes, I am guilty.
I've never heard you curse, which is fun.
Ask Chef. Muckleshoot Casino and Resort text line is 888-973-5476, 888-973-KIRO. Let's get to it. Our top stories brought to you by Pendergast Law. As you heard in Jillian's newscast, Seattle Mayor Katie Wilson has only been in office, 8 months, and already 2 residents are trying to recall her. Their complaints are almost entirely about public safety. Melinda Jacobson says she filed the petition after seeing what's been happening along Aurora Avenue.
One of the things was the Aurora problem. When I talked to some of the people directly involved with the horrible situation there and found out that she had ignored their phone calls, emails, and trying to meet in person for over 6 months. That is appalling.
But Angela, she also pointed to all the crime in the Chinatown International District and Belltown, the decision to keep surveillance cameras turned off, and Mayor Wilson's decision to push Police Chief Sean Barnes out after the Bite of Seattle shooting.
When she first started, I thought she deserved the benefit of a doubt. But my big thing is public safety and how she's failed this city miserably in that regard.
Now, this is still a long way from an actual recall election. A judge would ultimately have to decide whether any of this amounts to actual misconduct or a violation of the mayor's oath of office. And maybe to the disappointment of some, that is a much higher bar than simply just saying she's doing a bad job.
Yeah, my take on this is that these are valid concerns that more than likely they will have to take up when re-election happens. Because Washington law prohibits people from doing this for political reasons or because you disagree with a policy choice.
Yes.
I mean, the bar, like to your point, the bar is really high. And
yes.
I actually wrote it down. It says you have to have substantial wrongful conduct that interferes with performance or public duty.
Yes.
And so to give you an example, because I was looking, I was like, okay, when have past recall efforts?
Me too.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
Okay, so did you look up Shama Sawant?
Yes.
Okay,
so that was in so in 2021, the most recent Seattle recall election of any elected city official was Shama Sawant. And she survived by just 310 votes. But there was a recall attempt against Seattle Mayor Jenny Durkan in 2020 after all the George Floyd protests, but that one didn't go anywhere. And I was thinking, is Katie Wilson like the earliest? Because she's hardly been in office, but you have to go all the way back to 1911.
Mm-hmm.
Hiram Gill was recalled.
Yes.
But to your point, I mean, this is a first step, but it's a humongous hurdle.
Yeah.
There would be a Superior Court judge would have to decide whether the allegations, assuming the alleged facts are true, would actually legally constitute either misfeasance, malfeasance, or a violation of the oath of office.
Yeah, exactly. And for Shama, these were the things that were allowed to move forward, allegedly delegating her office's employment decisions to her political party, using city resources to promote the tax Amazon, allowing protesters into City Hall, things that would be like a violation of conduct versus a policy decision on my choice to let go of the police chief or how I choose to navigate the Aurora situation. So I'd be really interested to see if they have any more details or evidence of wrongdoing that would rise to the level of what Shama Sawant was accused of, which so that would be up to that would be up to a judge, and then there would be, if it were to go forward, then it would be you've got 180 days to collect signatures, and then it's basically you need to have 25%. Enough signatures to basically be 25% of all votes cast for mayor in the preceding election. Yeah. So that would be about 69,000 valid signatures.
What was our turnout in the primary?
I know, exactly.
But here's the wild part. Here's the wild part. I think they could get the signatures.
Oh, yeah. No.
I think now they can get the signatures.
You're absolutely correct. I mean, I think that there is this sentiment like, what on earth have we gotten into? And she's not even been in office for a year. And I think that speaks more to this than whether it's actually going to happen.
Do you know what just went through my head?
What's that?
So bad. Do you remember after President Trump was elected, everyone had the Kamala memes of like, I tried to tell you, I tried to tell you. And I've wondered, because when the mayoral race was happening, Mayor Bruce Harrell and some of his allies were saying inexperience. And so I could see the meme of like, tried to tell you.
Well, and I'm curious, have you heard from Bruce Harrell at all?
I haven't heard a peep.
I haven't either.
He's like, I'm minding my own business.
Chef, can we try to get Bruce Harrell back on?
Sure.
I don't know that. I'm sure he's just kicking back.
He's in startup
so
world,
messy,
right?
Ursula, it's so messy.
Yeah, I know. And again, I want to reiterate, because I have been very tough on Mayor Wilson. We still would love to have her on our show, and I want her to be able to defend herself against everything that I've said. And I think I expressed the sentiment of a lot of people. I do still see that she still has some supporters.
Absolutely.
And, yes. And so I would love to get her on the show. I would love to get the former mayor on the show. But bottom line, we are in a mess right now. And I think that she's got to really work on instilling more confidence in her ability to do this job.
Well, let me ask you this before you move on. Can I just mention that her supporters might say they just had this great legislation on rental junk fees?
We talked about it yesterday.
Okay,
that was one of her victories.
Yeah.
I think that is absolutely one of her victories.
Right. But public safety is high on the agenda for so many people, and that's where people are feeling like, hey, the ball is being dropped.
Yes, for sure. Okay, we've been talking for months now about Seattle's housing market cooling off. But what's new this morning is that Seattle just posted the biggest drop in pending home sales of any major city in the country. So I think this was in the Puget Sound Business Journal. Redfin says pending sales fell nearly 16% in July compared with a year ago. And of course, it's not hard to see why. The median price for a Seattle home is still, $900,000. Mortgage rates are still high. And now you have this new layer of uncertainty from all the tech layoffs. And I think that is what they're saying is the big difference maker right now. Redfin agents say even people who still have good paying tech jobs, they're nervous about layoffs and they're not sure how, whether they should move forward. Is now the best time to take on a huge mortgage? So it's not just a housing slowdown. We're talking about Seattle now leading the country in terms of a drop in pending sales.
Yeah, you have two problems going on here. You have, first of all, the actual layoffs that have happened, and then the fear of, is this a temporary dip or is it a revolution where we're actually going to change what the jobs that drive our economy? I was looking at this article that came out a month ago, and this was from KUOW, but their source was the Workforce Development Council of Seattle King County. And basically, they're saying how there are all these jobs that are booming in the region, and tech is just the one that is actually going in the opposite direction. And they were kind of predicting that this could be the new norm. And I can say that what this looks like on the ground, because I know a lot of people in the real estate industry, builders, stuff is sitting. One developer has a bunch of like townhome type places on the market, and it's just, well priced and just quiet. Because when people feel uncertain, you don't want to, And then there's the other case of a realtor I spoke with who basically the people were having to sell their home because they lost their tech job and there was no sign of getting another one.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, and then you can... I think depending on which side of the door you're on in terms of housing, because if you've been someone who's been on the sidelines waiting for prices to drop, where you're not getting a teeny tiny home in Seattle for over $1 million, maybe you're looking at this like this might finally be my time to jump in. But right now, what's interesting is that this article also pointed out that San Francisco, which is very similar to Seattle in terms of high-tech jobs, they're actually seeing a surge in home sales. So they're getting a lot of wealthy folks moving in because the AI boom is actually supporting the demand down there. Whereas up here, it's, we had so many people come in for all these high-tech jobs that are now, tens of thousands of jobs are being cut. So
it's that's so, and I wonder I don't know if you have it in front of you, but the homes that are selling, are these the really expensive homes? In other words, is it a case of the haves are able to buy?
Oh yeah,
and okay.
Well, in San Francisco, yeah. If you look at the housing market there, so in San Francisco, yes, and the other place that also saw a big increase is West Palm Beach, Florida. Well, you know who's moving there, so they have closed sales that are up 17% year over year.
Mm-hmm. That's wild. So you want to know, according to the Workforce Development Council, what jobs are increasing right now? Truck drivers,
yes,
up 200%. Security officers, baristas, and then software engineers, product managers, all down like in double digits.
And just remember, not that long ago, we would be talking about, man, these people are moving in and they've got that Amazon job and they're able to plunk down cash.
And people had their choice of jobs.
Yes.
It was a situation where companies were having to do a lot to keep them, offering them these free meals, offering the perks.
Yes.
Sleep here, get a massage.
So true. How jealous I was of all those people who were telling me about the kind of food that they could get for free.
I know.
It's like, we've got vending machines downstairs.
You don't even have to do your own laundry.
No.
Seriously.
I know. It's like, wow.
It's amazing how things can change.
Yes, quickly. Absolutely. Okay. Speaking of high tech, I guess there's the correlation there. Bill Gates' daughter, Phoebe Gates, do you remember how she was mentioned in the Forbes 30 under 30, just as someone who's like a mover and a shaker, someone who's really coming into her own. And right now, she and her shopping startup called FIA could be in serious legal trouble over how the company made money from online purchases. So Bloomberg has now obtained internal Slack messages showing that Phoebe Gates and her co-founder, Sophia Kiani, were talking about a feature that would automatically place tracking cookies on shopping sites. So if you don't know what that is, these cookies allowed the company to collect commissions on purchases, even in some cases when FIA had not actually referred the customer. So at first the company was like, this is a technical problem. And they said it fixed the technical problem after Bloomberg was raising questions last month. But now these newly reported messages show that the founders actually knew about the practice months earlier. In one message from December, Phoebe Gates asked whether the cookie feature was active across all eligible sites. And in another, Kiani encouraged employees to keep the cookies dropping even after an engineer said, hey, this is actually a violation of compliance rules. We could get in trouble for this. And I want you to listen to this interview that Phoebe did with Yahoo, where she claimed that she didn't create this company to make money. She wanted to prove her haters wrong.
Honestly, for me, my primary motivation is, right, I have a chip on my shoulder to build something generational that has no ties to, me, my privilege, or my last name, right? That's truly an excellent experience for consumers where you want to come to FIA to start your shopping journey because, wow, we can remake online shopping and we can actually make it delightful in a way that's consumer first and not just, hey, why don't you open up, 100 different tabs on Google Shopping that are all ads driven. For me, I'm less driven by, a financial exit or something like that. And I want to build this, frankly, for the next 30 plus years of my life. So my dream when I think about an exit is, either continuing to, have the company continue to be successful for a long time or taking it public.
Okay, Angela. Bloomberg is reporting that in June, more than half of the sales that FIA claimed credit for actually came through this dubious practice. And then after they shut off the feature, their average daily revenue fell from about $80,000 to between $10,000 and $28,000.
Let's start from the beginning, just so we can make, because this, I think for folks who are hearing this for the first time, so let's say you have Nike or Nordstrom, and you're using FIA to shop around, and when you go to checkout, basically FIA gets a commission from that company for referring. And what you're saying happened is that they were basically doing some technology wizardry.
Yes.
So that they were getting credit for stuff they didn't refer.
Yes.
And it sounds like someone internal must have leaked this to the press. Otherwise, how did they get internal messages? That's what right?
Yeah. But they're trying to claim, it was a mistake.
And they're refunding and doing the right thing.
But actually, there is, this messaging now that shows, no, they were very aware of it. And just so you know, like, if you're thinking like, well, what's the big deal? Because they've not been charged with any crime. But cookie stuffing can be prosecuted as a federal wire fraud charge with a maximum 20-year penalty.
Here's what breaks my heart, and I'll just be transparent with everyone. There is a certain bias that I have, and it's not even, I feel like I can separate it, but my daughter did go to school with her. They weren't close friends, but interactions, and just lovely, good student to be around, in terms of, But putting that aside, I'm looking at the facts here. What I am going to say, what breaks my heart is the first part of that soundbite, where she said, I'm not building this company to make money, but to prove that this isn't about my last name. What did she say? I don't know if you're able to play the first few seconds
it's the whole thing about, I'm not a Nepo.
It's so sad when someone feels that pressure that they have to live up to what their parents did or prove that I'm enough or worthy. And I would imagine if you're in that pursuit, you might, when you face an ethical challenge, you would hope you would do the right thing.
Honestly, for me, my primary motivation is, right, I have a chip on my shoulder to build something generational that has no ties to, me, my privilege, or my last name.
Okay. I want to point out, though, it's admirable, except that what is this? The Futurist is reporting also, they put a link on their article that the Stanford Daily reported earlier this year that Phoebe Gates took part in an unofficial invitation-only class called So You Think You Can Rule the World. And this was, there were only 12 students who were selected. The class is not publicly listed. There's no enrollment code. And basically, former students described it as a course about understanding power, incentives, and how to navigate existing systems. And one former student said it taught them how to essentially hack power structures and identify vulnerabilities or loopholes.
Guys, I just want to say to everyone listening, this is how the world works. There are invitation-only things that we know nothing about. This is an example. This class is an example of clearly how life works and we have no clue about it.
Yeah, haves and have-nots.
There was an invitation-only class that's not even advertised, teaching you how to rule the world.
Yeah, well, and okay, so she takes that, but my question is, bottom line, should they face charges? Okay, Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. Coming up, we are going to talk about a story that's not getting nearly enough attention. I'll just say that. Stay with us.
Fire up the lights. Lace up the pads.
All you got to do is throw the pads on, and you can tell who want to do it, who don't.
The defending champs are playing football at Lumen Field.
We get to play football today. That's fun. Football, baby! All teed up.
It's the preseason opener. Seahawks, Cowboys. Saturday, kickoff at 5, pregame at 3.
Get your mind and your body ready to hit. Touchdown, Seahawks!
Listen wherever you are for free on the KIRO Newsradio app.
Here's the deal. The government is over $38 trillion in debt, which means the IRS isn't slowing down. And the tax code is complex and unforgiving. So it's not surprising if you're one of the millions of Americans that owe back taxes to the IRS. Unfortunately, they're the world's most powerful collection agency, with the ability to garnish your wages, seize your bank accounts, and even take your home or business. But don't be stressed or worried any longer. We're Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm. We have resolved over $3 billion in tax debt for our clients. Our award-winning professionals deal with the IRS every single day, protecting our clients and preparing them for the best possible resolution. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, give Optima a call today.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
I'm driving a 2026 Subaru Forester Touring Hybrid from Carter Subaru, and this car has made me a hybrid believer. I love the 360-degree camera. Of course, using less gas certainly doesn't hurt. Right now, get a 2026 Subaru Outback for 0.9% APR during the Subaru A Lot to Love event. Carter Subaru in Ballard, Shoreline, or cartersubaru.com.
On approved credit, subject to vehicle insurance and availability. A documentary service fee may be added to the sale price or capitalized cost. See dealer for details. Valid through 8/31/26.
Nearly 1 in 4 people killed on the road in Washington weren't driving. Pedestrians on our roads are incredibly vulnerable, whether they're facing drunk, drugged, drowsy, or distracted drivers. Pedestrians are defenseless on our streets. That's why Davis Law Group fights for pedestrian accident victims and their loved ones after a crash. Davis Law Group delivers. So if you or a loved one have been injured, call Davis Law Group today at 206-888-8888 or visit DavisLawGroupSeattle.com.
Progressive presents the Museum of You.
We begin our tour with a unique piece, a relic from the early big screen television era. Remarkable. Next, we find a juicer, which historians believe has only ever been used once. And finally, compact discs from the emo era. A rare find indeed.
Some things should be history, but until then, you could protect what's important to you and save by bundling your auto insurance with a renter's policy from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Spike O'Neill here. If your loved one's caregiver is planning a vacation or just needs a break, why not consider Aegis Living Respite Care? A short-term stay that provides 24/7 expert care, Aegis Living amenities, and peace of mind for you and your family. Go to aegisliving.com/spike to schedule a visit today.
Looking for a simple solution to hair loss this summer? Get the same breakthrough one-day treatment I received at Advanced Hair during their once-yearly summer savings event. Your own natural hair begins to regrow the very next day, and Advanced Hair guarantees it will grow. Take advantage of your flexible summer calendar and get the most hair for your dollar during their best offer of the year. For details and a free consultation, call 425-449-8185, advancedhair.com.
The Black Crows, live in the Tulalip Amphitheater, Sunday, August 30th. Tickets are on sale now. Details at TulalipCasino.com.
Jazz Alley invites you to a special evening with Grammy-winning guitarist and vocalist John Pizzarelli, presenting Dear Mr. Bennett, a celebration of Tony Bennett and the Great American Songbook. August 13th through the 16th, tickets at jazzalley.com.
Hey there, Dawn Riding with Olympic Hot Tub. It's our 49th birthday, and we're celebrating by giving you the gifts. Outstanding savings on saltwater hot spring spas, free Bluetooth music, and interest-free financing for 3 years. Plus, exciting savings on endless pool swim spas, saunas, and cold plunges. How's that for a birthday to remember? Ends August 24th. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Olympic Hot Tub.
Tired, foggy, not feeling like yourself? It's Manda Factor. Dr. Lucy Hostetter is a board-certified physician at Juvacor Health and Wellness Center. She's been there, and doctors said live with it.
Which I found unacceptable. So I started doing research, led me down the path of hormones.
Now she helps men and women with safe, personalized hormone therapy at their own pace.
And it is my life goal, and it's incredibly satisfying.
Call Juvacor Health and Wellness Center in Tacoma or Seattle Regenerative Medicine Center in Bellevue, or check out juvacorhealth.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning. I'm Jillian Raftery. We now know more about charges leveled against Seattle Mayor Katie Wilson that could lead to a recall. The paperwork that details the charges was filed Tuesday by a North Seattle couple who live near Aurora Avenue North and who have lived with the violence there for some time. The paperwork cites dereliction of duty and points to the Bite of Seattle gang-related shootout and the fallout that followed, including gun violence along Aurora Avenue. Melinda Jacobson filed that paperwork.
It tells me that her priorities are not the average citizen's priorities. And, when you're elected mayor, you're supposed to listen to the citizens. She apparently is not doing that.
So now the recall charges will undergo a technical review by the King County Prosecuting Attorney's Office. It's important to note most recall efforts don't make it past the legal steps out of the petition phase, but of course some do, and if this one does, ultimately there would be a 180-day signature gathering effort. Bothell police arrested a suspect shortly after 7 o'clock this morning in connection with last week's fire at the Fred Meyer near Thrasher's Corner. The suspect faces a first-degree arson charge and was also found in a stolen vehicle at the time of the arrest. No one was hurt in the fire, but the store had to be evacuated. And crews are making a little bit of progress on the Little Giant fire near Leavenworth. It is now 5% contained. It's been a very difficult one and has been burning for about a month now. A federal judge is asking attorneys with the DOJ why the department rejected or withheld certain documents pertaining to the Epstein files. Back in June, Judge Emmett Sullivan ruled that the DOJ's omissions and redactions violated the Epstein Files Transparency Act. And today, he's going to document by document, asking the DOJ about specific instances. And a trial against Meta is underway in Oakland, California. The social media giant is facing a lawsuit from a group of state attorneys general about how their platforms affect the mental health of teens and kids. This comes after a massive legal loss in New Mexico. Now we're going to KIRO News Radio traffic, and we have great news. 405 northbound ramp to eastbound 90 is open after a 4-hour closure. A semi hauling garbage flipped and spilled its load, and we do have some significant slowdowns in terms of cars getting bunched up, but the time it takes you to get places is not severe. Linwood to Seattle, 34 minutes in the HOV lane and 48 minutes in regular traffic. Linwood to Bellevue is 49 minutes. Federal Way to Seattle, 29 minutes on I-5 northbound. Renton to Bellevue on 405 northbound, just 24 minutes. This report brought to you by Harbor Stone Credit Union. Open a money market special outline online with $3.75 annual % yield with full access to your money the entire time at harborstone.com/moneymarket. Insured by NCUA. We are going to have a cloudy morning giving way to more sunny but hazy afternoon, high of 81. Tomorrow about the same. It's 63 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Jillian Raftery for KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Welcome back to the Gee and Ursula Show. Gee is out today. Angela Poe Russell is in. And several months ago, this was a topic that we brought up almost on a daily basis. And I think that so much has been happening that it has kind of been pushed off the radar to some degree. But this was a story that you had brought to our attention.
Yes. And I guess I'll start with most of us, I would imagine, the news coverage of ICE and deporting people, detaining people, folks with no criminal record or maybe some from years ago. And you remember the images of those planes taking off and people going to other countries, and you don't get to hear what is happening with them. And so the New York Times got this behind the scenes interview with someone in a prison on the continent of Africa. It's a Cuban immigrant. He had been in the U.S. since he was 12 years old. He is now in a maximum security prison in southern Africa, even though he's from Cuba, because Cuba won't take them. So the New York Times reports that 60-year-old Robert Mosquera was detained by ICE last year. And again, he's in Eswatini. That's the name of the country in southern Africa. Here's a clip from the interview.
Here in this cell with no charges, no anything. Okay, you say you want to deport me to Cuba. Okay, what I'm doing in Africa. I couldn't even say goodbye when I left. I had a job, good job. They just took my life, man, you know. I worked so hard every single day, man, to go to work and pay taxes. I don't know what happened, man.
Yeah, so like I said, he'd been here since he was 12. Back in the 80s, he was convicted of attempted murder. This was he was part of, as I understand it, was part of a gang at that time in the late 80s, and shot a former gang member in the leg or something. Served 9 years in prison. After his release, he built a new life in Miami, worked as a plumber, raised 4 daughters, and regularly checked in with immigration authorities every year. In fact, he was at an immigration office to get his work permit renewed when they said, okay, your time here is up. He was able to give the New York Times reporter this behind-the-scenes look because he went on this hunger strike, Ursula, that lasted for more than 30 days, and he was wanting access to a lawyer. And ultimately, by the end of the hunger strike, which was over 30 days, he was able to get access to, he bought a cell phone with money that had been sent to him from his family. Human rights lawyers say at least 19 deportees are being held in Eswatini, many without charges or meaningful access to lawyers. The U.S. government says the deportations provide due process and are necessary for public safety.
I got faith. My daughter's name's Faith. And I got faith that I will see her again. I just want to just go home, man, and see one day I can get out of here, and I hope soon, because time passing, we're getting old. I'm not young anymore, you know? I'm not young anymore.
The Trump administration isn't only deporting immigrants with past criminal convictions to countries they've never visited. Legal immigrants are also being arrested and detained right here in the U.S. Miriam Tamasebi, her husband, Saeed Aissa Hashemi, and their high school age sons have been held in ICE in Texas since April of this year. They have legal green card status, no criminal record. And yeah, it's a wild situation. Also, there's another person, a doctoral researcher here at Texas A&M, spent 4 months in ICE detention at the Florence ICE Detention Center before being released, had a green card since the age of 5, and no deportable criminal record. I mean, I could go on and on.
Well, and I'm seeing, we printed out a page, and there are all these names. A doctoral researcher at Texas A&M spent 4 months in ICE detention, and this was someone who had a U.S. green card since the age of 5 and no deportable criminal record anyway. And what we're seeing happening, and I think it's overwhelming, and if not for New York Times or for some of these human rights attorneys who are trying to bring attention to it, it's happening. And with this alleged daily arrest goal of 2,000 to 3,000 daily arrests, I think there is that pressure to, keep arresting them. But what's scary is we're not hearing what happens after the fact.
No, like what happened to having a process?
Yes,
and a legal process. And for anyone who thinks this is okay, because I'll see people say, well, they should have done this or should have done that. And in most of these cases, there are people who are regularly checking in, doing what they were supposed to do. We should all be concerned if anyone doesn't receive justice, because that means it's a threat to our well-being and justice in the future. We can't do this. My question to you is, when all of this ends, because one day it will end, President Trump will no longer be in office, should some of these people in his administration who thought it was okay, even against judges' orders at times to do this, should they be charged criminally for trafficking?
Well, I mean
it's a fair question.
It is a fair question. Do I think it's going to happen? Probably not. Catherine of the 360 just texted in and said, I had a green card for years, and I always knew if I committed a crime, I could be deported, especially a felony. Help me understand how this person was not deported at the time he was convicted of a felony.
It was because it was Cuba. It was because Cuba, as I understand it, Cuba wasn't accepting anyone back who had left.
And he had served his time.
He had served his time, was regularly checking in, doing the things he was supposed to do. But regardless, guys, what I'm trying to say is there's still a process.
Yes.
And we have one for a reason, so that, injustices don't happen. There's still a process.
And I'm curious, though, because, and I just want everyone who's hearing our voices right now, when you hear, well, there was even if the time was served, if you hear, well, he's got a criminal past, does that automatically make you think, different category, I don't care, shouldn't have done the crime?
Well, I mean, there's an instance where
I'm asking, Bo. By the way, I'm not saying that, but I think that there's a natural.
This is like a misdemeanor marijuana charge.
Yes,
from 3 decades ago, and someone still retains legal status. They're a legal U.S. resident.
Yes.
Fly back to the U.S. They get arrested, cuffed, held in detention for 4 months, and then deported. Like, that is doing it the right way. They have legal status.
Yes,
I don't understand why that's acceptable.
I don't think it's acceptable.
Yeah.
And I also think that's not who we should be targeting. Bottom line.
Yeah.
We really should be going for the worst of the worst. And what we're hearing is too many of this doesn't qualify as the worst for the worst.
No, in a lot of these cases, I'm not seeing that. And well, I think a lot of people who voted for President Trump said that I thought that's what he was going to do, and that hasn't been the case. And I also want to bring money into this, because I have to tell you, when I heard the story of the guy in Eswatini and he was on the hunger strike, I thought, I wonder why it was so important for that jail to make sure that he lived. I wonder why that was so important. Yeah, because millions of dollars are going to these facilities, and I have to imagine it's a per person fee,
yes.
Right? I'm sure it's a per person fee, so you don't want to lose one of your residents.
Yes,
right?
and I'm still going with we should not be privatizing prisons.
And that's our tax money, too. Like, you want to talk about waste, fraud, and abuse. There's waste, fraud, and abuse where somebody, takes food stamps that they shouldn't. There's waste, fraud, and abuse where we're illegally locking up people who are here with legal status, and we're paying for it.
Yep. Okay, still ahead, we're going to have a little fun here, because has swearing gone off the chain? I mean, is it just unhinged at this point? Are we all swearing way too much? And you had the question, and you're going to explain why it came to your attention.
Yes.
We'll have that next.
KIRO News Radio, where you hear the John Curley Show, 3 to 7.
Katie Wilson. People still blasting away at her. There's a great, crazy play called The Actor's Nightmare. And the play goes this way. The actor is standing backstage, and all of a sudden, the stage manager goes, "You're on." And he walks into the scene. He didn't show up at any rehearsals, and he's just there, center stage. And the nightmare is, I have no idea what my line is.
Watch live or later on the John Curley Show's YouTube channel.
Our family has trusted Carter Subaru for several years. Actually, it's been way over a decade at this point. Man, time flies. And we bought our Outback there in 2016. I've told you about that car. I still love it. It still drives beautifully. But now this summer, I'm spending time in a brand new 2026 Subaru Forester Touring Hybrid from Carter Subaru. And this vehicle feels built for real family life. There is room for a car seat, which I just found out because I was taking care of my grandnephew, a stroller, toys, groceries, and everything else that goes with kids, and hopefully for me, future grandkids. It also has the safety technology that I want. I was driving on I-90 near Bellevue when the Forester recently warned me when a speeding driver entered the lane beside me, and it helped me guide me away from a possible collision. Right now at Carter Subaru, you can also get a 2026 Subaru Crosstrek starting at 1.9% financing for 36 months, or a 2026 Subaru Outback at 0.9% APR. Carter Subaru in Ballard, Shoreline, or online at cartersubaru.com.
on approved credit, subject to vehicle insurance and availability. A documentary service fee may be added to the sale price or capitalized cost. See dealer for details. Valid through 8/31/26.
You know what you can trust? The protection you get when you bundle home and auto insurance with Progressive. You know what you can't trust? Everything else, apparently. Like when you saw that article that said that thing you eat every day is a superfood and great for your gut health. But then 30 seconds later, a different article warns you to avoid it and it's taking years off your life. Well, which is it? Kind of a big difference there. Anyway, bundle home and auto insurance with Progressive for reliable coverage in a reliably unreliable world. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The Boeing Classic welcomes the world's greatest golf legends to the Pacific Northwest, August 14th through the 16th at the club at Snoqualmie Ridge. Watch Masters champions and Golf Hall of Famers compete for a $2.3 million purse at the only PGA Tour champion stop in the region. Bring the whole family and make sure to check out the Seahawks Village, packed with fun for all ages. Tickets start at just $20 and kids get in free. Visit BoeingClassic.com to get yours today.
I like it hot.
Beg your pardon?
Can you make it hot for me, Dan?
I think so.
Half heated ain't hot enough.
No.
That's why I called you.
Apollo Plumbing.
Yeah, my sorry old water heater.
Oh.
Ain't getting me the hots anymore.
You want hot water.
That's what I said.
That's what we do at Apollo Plumbing.
And you're ready?
Right now.
When can you?
How about today?
Same day?
We'll have you in hot water tonight.
Clever. How about an upgrade?
A tankless water heater would mean endless hot water.
Now you're cooking.
That's just for starters.
Starters?
How about we make it a worry-free water heater?
Worry-free?
Wrenchie's worry-free warranty.
Which covers?
Repair, service, all included.
And when it wears out?
Apollo replaces it.
No extra charge?
Nothing.
Nil?
Nada. As an Apollo A-list member, you're covered.
And payments?
To fit your budget with approved credit, of course.
And I'm hot again.
Worry-free.
That's for me.
We're on our way.
Thanks for making it hot.
We're ApolloPlumbing.com.
Guys, if you have low energy or reduced drive, it could be low testosterone. At Revive Health here in Seattle, start with a free testosterone exam and consultation with an experienced medical provider. And for a limited time, qualified patients can get started with a free month of TRT. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit revivehealth.com.
Certain industries expose workers to hazardous chemicals. If you worked in a paper or pulp mill, or in aircraft manufacturing or painting at Boeing, and have a child born with birth defects, your child may be entitled to legal damages as a result of your exposure to such chemicals. Birth defects have been linked to toxic chemicals, metals, and solvents used in these industries. If your child was born with brain or spinal cord damage, organ or limb malformations, blindness, cerebral palsy, genetic damage, or other birth defects, and you're a past or present worker in a paper or pulp mill, aircraft manufacturing, or painting, contact us now toll-free at 1-866-99-TOXIC. Your children may be entitled to legal damages. If you're a past or present worker in a paper or pulp mill or aircraft manufacturing or painting at Boeing, and your child has a birth defect, call toll-free at 1-866-99-TOXIC. Your call is confidential. 1-866-99-TOXIC. Message authorized by Weinstein Cajano, 600 University Street, Suite 1620, Seattle, Washington.
John Curley here. A few years back, we inherited a hot tub when we moved into a new house, and the previous owner said, "You gotta call Seattle Hot Tub. You'll love them." She's right. Seattle Hot Tub Company offers quality products, transparent, consistent pricing, and backs everything up with excellent service. You won't find some fancy showroom with high-price sales, but you will find American-made tubs, swim spas, and cold plunges at warehouse pricing and easy financing. Visit SeattleHotTub.com and go see them in person. You'll feel the difference.
Hey,
Hey, you're listening to the Gee and Ursula Show. Gee is off today. Angela Poe Russell is in, and we need to talk. Are we getting way too casual when it comes to swearing?
Yes, it was something I wondered about as I would occasionally watch network TV, and I would say, wow, I never heard that on some of the shows I grew up watching, like Facts of Life, and, you take them good, you take them bad. Yeah,
Yes.
I didn't hear that on those shows growing up, but it's different. But what brought this up today is that, I've been watching that show Hard Knocks.
Yes.
I saw episode 1. It was a clip of Seahawks running backs coach Thomas Hammock, and he dropped the F-bomb 17 times in 2 minutes. Here you go.
The first thing we have to establish is the edge. All right, what is our edge? But we should be running through people, and then they like, okay, I'm going to tag off. That's what it looks like, all right? And that's what we have to start to establish.
Wait,
so
sorry.
I sent you guys to think out. We were the last ranked group in NFL. Who gives a?
Now listen,
that's locker room talk.
I mean, yeah. When you have coaches, like you're going to yes, like that kind of stuff is going to happen. This was a bit, that many times in so many minutes, but I do think I've even seen it in theater. I've gone to plays. And I'm hearing F-bombs. I'm hearing, all kinds of things. So I did do a search to see if what I was feeling was true. And it is true that in network television, they said the trend kind of started with shows like Married with Children or The Simpsons.
Yes.
That kind of started pushing the envelope of what you should do.
Yes.
So now shows like, Young Sheldon, Modern Family, The Office, Blackish. They don't do the F-bombs typically, but you're going to get the other son of so-and-so and HE double hockey sticks and
So I'm curious if it's a generational thing or if it's just us, because even though I have been known to drop an occasional expletive or two, and I'm not particularly proud of it, for me, it is a stress relief. But I'm curious I'm curious if, when I say generational, like you and I will notice it, but I'm just curious if, for example, Nick or Chef would say, that's just kind of that's just being realistic. Like on the Hard Knocks thing, I think that's special because they're showing a football team. And he even talked about it. That Hammock later told the Seattle Times it was not his brightest moment. But he said he was caught on pushing his players really hard.
Yeah.
But I'm just curious if, like you and I, because I will still bristle, even though, I've been known to use an expletive or two. I will still, if I hear it on a show, I'm like, okay, was that necessary?
Yeah. Now, for me, it's more jarring. I almost feel like I've been desensitized to it in a way when I see it on TV. But in person, it feels more jarring. And I'm guilty of it too. When I think about what I was like growing up versus now, I feel like I've gotten way too comfortable with it. I've bought into this idea that because the research does show that people who swear, they say, are more honest and
intelligent.
So I'm like, oh yeah, I'm those things. Yeah. But I think I gotta do better, because then your kids, like when they're...
Yes. I actually had one of my sons call me out one time, like, whoa, Mom.
Really?
Yes. Yeah, not lately. When they were younger, and I realized, this is like bad.
My kids call me out all the time too. And it's not necessarily something I'm proud of, but I think like I've lost the ability to code switch, right? Because I learned to start swearing when I moved from private school to public school. And so I would be able to turn it off at home, but as soon as I was back at school, I could turn it back on. And I've lost that filter entirely. I think part of it is look at the media sources, right? Sirius XM came around, and all of a sudden you could swear whenever you wanted. Podcast now, you can swear wherever you want. There's so much content now that is not FCC regulated.
That's true.
That it seems absolutely normal for people. And it's like, I think a lot of people just view it's like a little pepper in the language.
Well, it's a little pepper is effective, but Sharon, the Scrabble savant, says it perfectly. We should dial back the swearing. It's a lazy way to fill dialogue. It's supposed to be used for emphasis, and when it's every other word, it does lose the impact.
Oh, the word nerd weighing in.
Hey, Sharon, I'm with you.
Let me ask you
I'm
this,
with you.
though. Doesn't it feel good, though, sometimes when you just...
That's what I mean. It's this, we are in a high-pressure job. Most of my swearing is here. It's here, just like, scrambling around, and it's never directed at anybody.
Right.
It's more just,
See, there's a big difference between cursing used in anger, right, and as linguistic expression. Like, I came up in kitchens, and there's a very big difference between, just like dropping an F-bomb here or there.
And actually saying you are,
Yes.
which is what I did after a date once.
Oh!
It was a date. And
Well,
at
that
the
had
end,
impact.
I looked at him in a really kind way with a smile and said, "You are an A." I sure
And
did.
with that-
Did he
and
thank
you know
you?
what? It felt so good.
Yeah.
And no regrets.
Yeah.
Awesome.
253 said, unless the profanity adds to the show, it should be left out. And there was a Jerry also texted in and said, I'm a stand-up comedian, or I used to be a stand-up comedian, and he didn't swear on stage because it just didn't make it that much funnier.
Comedians are definitely guilty of overdoing it sometimes. Okay,
Absolutely.
I know we got to go, but this was great.
More of the Gee and Ursula Show coming up.
Hey, I want to introduce you guys to a brand new sponsor to the show. I'm very excited to welcome Phil Mitchell from Sunset Auto Family. Welcome to the show, Phil.
Hey, thanks, Jake. Nice to be here.
It's so great to have you here. I want to jump right into something that you guys offer that is such a benefit to anybody out there looking for a vehicle. You guys have 48-hour used vehicle exchange. Tell me a little bit about how that works.
Well, basically, we want to take the fear out of buying a pre-owned vehicle. So we give you 48 hours. You take the car home, you decide if you like it. And if you like it, you keep it. If you don't, you bring it back, and we try to find you something you do like.
All right, so let's say a scenario. I see something I love. I'm worried that it's not going to be there next time, so I jump on it real fast, and then I get it home to my garage, and it doesn't fit. I can bring it back?
You can bring it back, and we'll find you something that does fit. It just takes all the fear out of it. There's no more guilty feelings. You don't have to be stuck with it for 5 years or 10 years. You bring it back, we find you something that works.
Sunset Kia in Auburn, Sunset Ford, and Sunset Chevrolet in Sumner. You just get more at Sunset, and people do like that.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. But at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited everything for just $35 a line. That's $35 a month for unlimited talk, text, and data. Switch to the carrier ranked #1 in network coverage and customer satisfaction and get unlimited everything for just $35 a month. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit Consumer Cellular online or in-store today. Price includes $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. Taxes and fees apply. Data speeds reduced after 35 gigabytes. Rankings done by 2025 ACSI survey.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681.
Pump up the volume. Business moves fast. Orders roll in, deadlines close in. When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Every package stays in our secure network from dock to door. And with nationwide reach, dependable tracking, and upfront affordable pricing, you get built-in peace of mind. You run the business. We run the routes. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to learn more.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News.
I'm not one to say I told you so, but I switched to Pure Talk over a year ago, and ever since, I've been telling people there's no better wireless company out there. Well, a few months ago, a massive survey was conducted. 123,000 people were asked to rate their wireless carrier in 4 categories: coverage, support, data, and overall value. Well, the results are in. Guess which wireless company was the only wireless company to get 5 stars in every category? Yeah, Pure Talk. 5 stars, every category. To celebrate, Pure Talk is offering the first 3 months of any plan for just $15 a month, including their top-tier unlimited plan. No contract, no commitment, just a very inexpensive way to test drive the only American wireless company with 5 stars in every category. Just dial pound 250, say micro, and Pure Talk's U.S. customer service will take it from there. Again, pound 250 micro. And yes, I told you so.
Compassion, communication, results. That's Pendergast Law Personal Injury Lawyers. Go to pendergastlaw.com. That's pendergastlaw.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. KIRO FM and HD1. Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest News.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. A federal judge is going through documents in the Epstein files that were redacted or withheld by the Justice Department. In June, the judge ruling that the DOJ's omissions violated the Epstein Files Transparency Act.
The DOJ, in a way, is kind of using the victims of Epstein to justify withholding a lot of this information. The concern, though, mentioned in this lawsuit, mentioned by, for example, the New Mexico Attorney General, who's separately suing over these kind of documents, is that these are too many redactions, that some of these people aren't in fact victims, but actually associates of Epstein who are now being protected under the guise of the Epstein Files Transparency Act.
ABC's Peter Haralambous. In California, a 3.8 magnitude earthquake rattling the East Bay this morning, centered near the Oakland-San Leandro border. Residents reporting that they felt it. Authorities say so far no signs of damage. In the Central Pacific, Tropical Storm Lala has formed. A hurricane watch now posted for Hawaii's Big Island through the weekend. This is ABC News. There are growing concerns over the Homeland Security proposal to have agents use specialized gloves to stun someone that they're trying to arrest or detain. The gloves send an electric shock that transfers to someone by simply touching them. New York Governor Kathy Hochul says if the gloves are not used properly, her state could take legal action.
It appears to me on its face to be a violation of civil rights to cause that kind of physical harm to an individual, regardless of what the offense may be.
DHS says it will spend $20 million to equip agents with those gloves. California Democratic gubernatorial candidate Javier Becerra has a new proposal for Californians concerned at rising energy costs. Becerra said his proposal is designed to shift electricity consumption away from the evening hours. Record heat in large parts of Western Europe. Britain and France now experiencing the 5th heat wave of the summer. Both countries facing widespread drought. Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
2 murder investigations in just a week in Parkland. We'll give you those details in just a minute. But first, we've got your KIRO News Radio traffic, and we're sitting pretty good for this time of day. We still have a pretty significant drive into Seattle from the north end. The backup from Linwood to Seattle starts right about the county line, or the line into Seattle at this point, north 145th. Getting into Seattle, it significantly loosens up through the University District. The northbound drive has eased as well. Our backup used to be all the way from Boeing Field. Now it's a little bit north of Boeing Field, and the West Seattle drive is a lot less. You're about 45 minutes from Linwood to Seattle. And the 405 drive, you're going to be a lot easier as well. We're looking much better through the S-curves, and that ramp issue, 405 northbound to eastbound 90, that's gone away. There was a semi that had flipped over there. And you're relatively worry-free getting out of the north end. No real traffic coming out of Everett. And 405 southbound getting out of Bothell is just about as green as you get. This report brought to you by Bucky's Complete Auto Care. Is your car's AC blowing warm air? Don't sweat it. Save $50 on any AC service at Bucky's. 16 family-owned locations, no appointment needed. Bucky's.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Jillian Raftery. We are learning more today about a fatal shooting under investigation by the Pierce County Sheriff's Department. James Lynch has those details.
Pierce County Detective Josh Mill says deputies responded just after 6 p.m. Wednesday to reports of a shooting. It happened on 18th Avenue South in Parkland. When deputies arrived, they found a man in his 30s with gunshot wounds. Efforts to save him were unsuccessful. He died at the scene.
It's fairly contained. There's no danger to the public. But no one's been arrested.
Detective Mills says the case is ongoing as detectives and forensic teams are still gathering evidence. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
And this is the second murder investigation in that area in a week. On Monday, a man was found shot to death in a shed. 3 people were arrested after someone in a car opened fire on plainclothes police officers in South Seattle yesterday. 4 people were hospitalized, including an officer, 2 suspects, and a bystander after the suspect vehicle crashed while speeding away. The Little Giant fire near Leavenworth has now torched more than 127,000 acres. It's believed to have been caused by a lightning strike almost a month ago and has been burning in rugged terrain that makes suppression efforts extremely difficult. It was 0% contained until the last few days. Now it's at 5%. Meanwhile, the Grand Park 2 fire continues to burn on the northern slopes of Mount Rainier, but it hasn't grown much at all since the weekend. The Cascade foothills are under a red flag warning. This is for noon through 9 p.m. today, on Thursday. Forecasters warn lightning and gusty winds are in the forecast, which could spark fires or help them grow. And Sound Transit says it needs another $765 million to acquire property and prepare for the link extension to West Seattle. The organization says, however, it won't change the overall budget. The Sound Transit Expansion Committee meets this afternoon to decide whether to more than double the price tag for acquiring property that's in the way of the 3.9-mile expansion of light rail from Soto to West Seattle. Now we're going to check your forecast, and a pretty nice warm day. It is hazy, but clouds will make way to mostly sunny weather later today, and a high of 81 today and tomorrow. Hazy tomorrow as well. Saturday, morning clouds and afternoon sun. It's 63 degrees right now in downtown Seattle. I'm Jillian Raftery for KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Gee and Ursula Show. Gee is out today. He will be back tomorrow. Angela Poe Russell has been filling in, and we're having a good time on the show today.
We are. Thanks so much for having me, Ursula.
Well, I look forward to our conversation about bats because I saw during the break you were doing some research on bats.
Oh, my gosh.
Okay, we're going to be talking about bats and cats in this next segment. So we're going to have our kind of what G and I like to call our whale moment. Okay. So we'll have that in a second here. Muckleshoot Casino and Resort text line is open for you, 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. Coming up at 10:47, we have another Ask Ursula. And as always, I want to hear all of your advice on how I should have answered this listener. All these questions are coming from listeners. And just a reminder that if you have a dilemma that you would like to have solved or me to weigh in on it, Ask Ursula. You can find it on mynorthwest.com.
I can't wait.
Let's get to it.
What's new at 10?
Angela, this is a story that you brought to our attention. One of the Seattle area's most prominent young tech startups is moving its headquarters to Texas. So it's another one of those companies moving. Right. And this company's name is Augur. It's a supply chain software company founded in Bellevue just in 2024. And they're moving to Dallas, putting their headquarters in Dallas. And the company was actually started by former Amazon operations chief Dave Clark. He has already raised $150 million. Customers include Meta, Fanatics, and Kimberly-Clark. And he did an interview, and Chef, remind me where this interview came from. But GeekWire. He did an interview with GeekWire, and he said the move is really about family and access to talent. Dallas does have a deep pool of supply chain specialists and is also more centrally located for many of his customers. There's something that was in there, though, Angela, that caught your attention.
I thought it was refreshing that someone was saying, you know what? We're not leaving because of taxes. It has to do with, he even mentioned weather for him and his family, kind of having more sunshine. I have to admit, there is a part of me that's like, is it true? Because we do have amazing talent here. That's one of the things we are known for around the country is the talent. But I do get the centrally located, the weather, all those things. But it just was nice to see a story of someone saying, look, Seattle isn't all that bad. It's not the taxes for us. Here are the reasons. But he did offer a warning, though.
Yes, he did.
Why are you laughing,
He
Chef?
did offer a warning. He said that he has sensed what he calls an anti-business climate.
Chef, you have to say why you're giggling.
Because I roll my eyes at all the stories because I don't have a lot of patience for anecdotal evidence, right? Like, immigrants are doing all the crime. Like, okay, the Trump administration set up a website where you could report immigrants that are committing crimes, and it's well documented that they commit crimes. Every time an illegal immigrant commits a heinous crime, it's a huge story because of their immigrant. And the same thing with businesses are leaving because of taxes. If we had a perspective that Seattle is the best place for business and Washington is great for business, we would be reporting on 13 new businesses in Seattle opening every single day. We would be reporting on like over 400 businesses in the state opening every single day. And so when a restaurant is like, it is impossible to run a business. Yes, it is difficult, but everybody plays by the same exact rules. And your business, like you may have trouble in your business, but look, there's 100 other restaurants who are succeeding where this one is not.
Okay, I'm going to push back actually on Chef, and I'm going to say because one of the messages in this article and from this guy was that there is an anti-business attitude, and the region should not assume that major companies are going to stay always. I mean, I like to dunk on Starbucks. Howard Schultz, right? And he had a similar thing. He had his op-eds was throwing, but we can't become callous, or we cannot, the whole Mayor Wilson saying bye. That's the wrong attitude to have. We absolutely should be trying at a time when tech companies are doing these massive layoffs. We should absolutely be working toward making this a business-friendly climate.
What I would agree with you on, Chef, is that we can get caught up in headlines and narratives, and it's important for us to ask if they are true. And
does it show a trend, right?
Does it show a trend? What are the facts to back it up? But let me pose this question to you. So we just had this ban on rental junk fees.
Yes.
So there was one thing that got banned was monthly pet. Yeah, so pet deposits okay, but some places were charging if you have a pet, it's this fee per month. It sounds ridiculous on the surface.
Sure.
I was visiting this apartment complex. I was in Arizona, and this apartment complex had to install a camera system in their little park area because all the pet owners were letting their dogs poop everywhere. And so there is a cost that comes with that when you have a pet in a group area. But let me give you another one. So did you know in Seattle that if you are late in rent, the max a landlord can charge you is $10 per month?
Okay.
Is that going to make someone want to be a landlord? And is that going to be a motivator for someone trying to game the system?
No, I'm not disagreeing with you on that.
But my point in saying it is that policies can influence where people choose to do business.
Absolutely. Well, I want to give a couple of details.
Oh, let's go.
Downtown Seattle has lost about 30,000 jobs since 2020. And many are blaming the city's jumpstart payroll tax on large employers as one of the reasons why some of these layoffs happened. Office vacancies. We have downtown office vacancy rates that we've talked about for a while that they're now past 32%. And Bellevue basically is getting a lot of the employees that are being moved to Bellevue, right? And Downtown Seattle Association has talked about that. I mean, when you talk about Starbucks, you can say, well, yeah, they're still big here, but they did move some of their operations to Nashville. And I think it's a mistake to just say, let them move.
Oh, you know what? You're 100% right. Here's where I'm coming from on this. Like, Angela, your example of the landlord late fee thing, that's a perfect example of legislation that, I would say is not friendly to landlords, right? And overly sensitive to tenants. That being said, we've also had a system that has been overly favorable, in my opinion, to landlords for a long period of time. And we also have a climate where if you own a business, you have a larger voice and stake in public politics than the average citizen does, who is not heard. And so as soon as a business owner says, this is a problem, they get listened to. An average person does not. Mm-hmm. Also, businesses, yes. No business wants to be the bad guy. No boss wants to be the bad guy. They don't want to say, hey, our business failed because I've been drawing too large of a salary and I'm going through a painful divorce, so I have to lay you off. It's a lot easier to say Seattle sucks, right? And it's the same thing with these large companies. A lot of large companies have had an extremely favorable tax situation in perpetuity. Boeing famously, for example, despite getting tens of millions in tax breaks that the average small business does not receive, moved their headquarters anyways. Right. And when they face a similar tax burden as the average individual, they say, you're anti-business. No, I think a lot of us think, actually, we just want you to pay your fair share since you have such an accumulation of wealth, while the average person, senior citizen, is being asked to fund all of the public works, and they can't stay in their home because that's the way our tax system is structured.
We have to figure out how to strike
there's
the
a balance.
Yes, we have to figure out how to strike that balance between how we create an environment that is competitive and also taking care of people.
Absolutely.
At the end of the day, we still have a great value proposition in the city of Seattle.
Agree.
I really do love the city. I love my neighborhood. I love downtown. And I really hope that the mayor seems like a person who can take feedback and pivot, I think. Why did you just look at me like that?
I'm hoping. Again, you and I have a vested interest in this. We want that to be the case. I just want to point out, too, though, that a survey by the Association of Washington Business reported that nearly 1 in 4 employers considered moving out of state specifically because of rising tax burdens and regulations. So, again, my point is you can't ignore it. And this also can be true that, bottom line, we need to do a better job of taking care of the people and not always bow down to big business. So, okay, let's talk about bats, though. Because this is a story that really has you freaked out, right? Because their Olympic National Park Rangers are desperately searching for a woman who had a rabid bat caught in her hair. This is as someone who has way too much hair.
They got those sharp
this
little
happened
claws,
near
right?
Staircase Bridge on Sunday. So this bat swooped down on this hiker who was there around 2 p.m. That bat got tangled in her hair and then later tested positive for rabies. The bat also swooped at other hikers, but rangers are not sure if there was any sort of contact. But they know for sure with the woman who had the encounter with the bat in her hair. So they're worried that she might not have realized that she was exposed. But bat bites and scratches apparently can be very tiny and easy to miss. So they're saying, if this is you or anyone else who may have been in contact with that bat, you need to get medical help right away.
Yeah, so this is our public service to get the word out to find the woman.
Yes.
And because why else would I propose this story? Because, both of us have this thick hair.
Yes.
So, I read this story.
I'm not concerned at all.
This is the case in point of how sometimes you consume news and then you develop these new fears. And as someone who loves the outdoors and loves hiking, I'm like, now it's like I have bears, cougars, bats. All these things. Like, I'll be that person, like, wrapped in, like...
The bubble wrap?
I can't even...
Let's go back to anecdotal evidence because human pressure on wildlife populations are so high that there's probably been statistically never a lower chance of you having an instance with a wild animal. But this is legit. Do you guys know what rabies does to you?
No, to a human?
I know it's not good.
Holy moly.
No.
I have seen some videos of people who like late stage rabies. So it hijacks your nervous system and it causes this like catastrophic inflammation and dysfunction of your brain. So you have this extreme agitation, you get aggressive, you have hallucinations, people don't sleep, they don't drink water, right? So people famously develop hydrophobia. And it's because like when you get these involuntary painful spasms in your throat every time you try and swallow. And so people will not drink water. Animals that have rabies will not drink water. If they even see water, they will start having these throat spasms. And why that happens is because rabies is transferred through saliva. So every time you get this throat spasm, you start drooling and you're wildly aggressive.
Oh, boy.
And so wild animal, drooling, aggressive, that's where the biting comes in. But when this happens to people, like people don't even realize they have it. It can show up months later.
Oh, wow. So she really needs to be seen.
Yeah, you need to get medical treatment
Easily
as soon
treatable,
as possible
but-
if you have a possible rabies exposure.
Yeah.
Like, ideally within 24 hours.
Oh, okay. So and someone said where this happened. This was the Olympic Peninsula, right?
Yes.
Yeah, staircase.
Okay, so here's what I want to know. I always thought bats were nocturnal, and this was during the day. They were saying this happened at 2 p.m.
Yeah.
So is this because it was rabid that it was out during the day? Or
I'm
in
not a
some
wildlife
cases-
biologist, but that would seem to make sense. If like you have a agitated, delirious animal, right, that can't sleep, if you're seeing a bat during the day flying around like that, that's probably your sign.
Okay, so again, Olympic National Park, Staircase Bridge, Sunday. If you know, or if you also maybe potentially got in contact with this bat, you need to seek immediate medical advice, please. Okay, let's turn our attention to the cat. So we went from bat, now we're going to go cat. Because we talked about this a couple of days ago. Remember that Tacoma sailboat?
Full of cats.
Where it was full of, they rescued 60 cats. They were found living in very filthy conditions.
And this was a small boat.
Yes, a tiny sailboat off Tacoma. Now we're hearing from the owner. So they've figured out who the owner is. He's 62 years old. He says he had been living on this 40-foot boat. He works as a rigger, basically living paycheck to paycheck. And he says this started during the pandemic. A friend gave him a cat that ended up having kittens. He got a few of them fixed, but he says he couldn't afford to keep up with the spaying and neutering. So 6 years later, he had dozens of cats. And when Gee and I were talking about this, I thought that this was what had probably happened because I've seen how a couple of cats can turn into a ton of cats. So like, again, in 6 years, he said he had these dozens of cats and he had to leave the boat for a couple of days after he got a cat bite that infected his hand and he needed antibiotics. So by the time he could return, police and animal control had stepped in. And so he is saying that he never meant to abandon them, but he is taking responsibility saying it's all my fault. And of course, the one question. So first of all, what has been good, the good news is that those cats and kittens have been rescued and they're in a better place now. Of course, the possibility of animal cruelty charges, but I'm thinking, is that appropriate in this case?
Gosh, what are the consequences for animal cruelty? Okay, let me ask you this. Is it fair to say if 60 cats end up on a sailboat and that maybe there is a mental health issue going on? And if that's the case, then maybe it's like either face these charges or or somehow you have to go through some kind of program. I just wonder if we
in
have
this
the
case, it would be a misdemeanor because it's cases of neglect, poor living conditions, or lack of proper medical care.
Right?
I mean, he was, and
from an infected cat.
Well, but to have 60 cats living in those conditions, That is, I mean, you hear about those cat hoarders who end up, they're removed from their homes, and then there's the possibility. I mean, it just sounds like the guy had fallen under just bad times.
Like, I know there are free spaying and neutering services, but like, can you show up with 40 cats, right? Like the guy said he couldn't keep up with the spaying and neutering. I'm just wondering how accessible those are if they're accessible for everyone.
Yeah. Oh, that's a great question. By the way, on bats, going back to bats, and this is Carrie and Bonnie Lake said that her daughter encountered a bat in her room.
What?
On a UW field work project on Rainier. They all had to get a rabies series.
Oh,
yeah.
It's very serious.
Yes.
Animals.
Do we?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No,
they
Chef.
are. They're
no.
like upside down mice with wings.
No, they're not.
Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, clearly.
No.
So, you're mad at me.
I'm not mad at you.
You're looking at me with
disgust.
disgust.
That all of God's creations are beautiful.
I mean, they're beautiful, but you don't want to encounter a bat. It's certainly not a rabid bat. Okay, coming up next, what are we doing at 10:30? Are we popularizing perfection? That's what we're going to talk about? Ooh, we'll have more of that on the Gee and Ursula Show coming up.
Fire up the lights. Lace up the pads.
All you got to do is throw the pads on, and you can tell who want to do it, who don't.
The defending champs are playing football at Lumen Field.
We get to play football today. That's fun. Football, baby! All teed up.
It's the preseason opener. Seahawks, Cowboys. Saturday, kickoff at 5, pregame at 3.
Get your mind and your body ready to hit. Touchdown, Seahawks!
Listen wherever you are for free on the KIRO Newsradio app.
For 250 years, Americans have believed in one powerful idea, that we are meant to live free. Free to work hard, free to move, free to enjoy life without being held back. But if the natural effects of aging are slowing you down, it might be time to declare your independence from aging. John Curley here. Longevity Medical Clinic has been treating the undesirable effects of aging for nearly 30 years. They have more clinical experience with actual patient care than any longevity practice in the country. I've been a patient for 17 years. Wow, time flies when you got a lot of energy. I don't know where I'd be today without longevity. Longevity Medical Clinic was started so people can get back to living life on their own terms, walking, working, exercising, and enjoying the moments that matter most. This year, as we celebrate 250 years of American independence, take a stand for your own freedom. Get your free health analysis at Longevity Medical Clinic. Find out more at lmclinic.com.
Are you looking for the best deal on a new home? Discover the D.R. Horton Home of the Week. With new home communities from Lacey to Stanwood, ranging from the low 500s to the high 1 millions, D.R. Horton has the right home at the best value for you. Your new home is within reach, so what are you waiting for? Learn more about the D.R. Horton Home of the Week. Visit drhorton.com and schedule a tour today. D.R. Horton, America's builder. An equal housing opportunity builder.
Looking for a simple solution to hair loss this summer? Get the same breakthrough one-day treatment I received at Advanced Hair during their once-yearly summer savings event. Your own natural hair begins to regrow the very next day, and Advanced Hair guarantees it will grow. Take advantage of your flexible summer calendar and get the most hair for your dollar during their best offer of the year. For details and a free consultation, call 425-449-8185 AdvancedHair.com.
Jane is a small business owner. Tell them what that's like, Jane.
Yeah, well, it's like a roller coaster with a lot of ups and downs, and some days things can feel like they're flying off the rails.
Yep, it's a lot. But the Total Solutions Advantage only from Comcast Business can help you manage it all. With the largest, fastest fiber-powered network designed for 100% reliability with business internet and wireless connect.
Nice. So everything stays on track.
The Total Solutions Advantage. No one does business like Comcast Business.
The more solutions you add, the more you save. Get started today with a qualifying internet package for as low as $60 a month when you add an advanced solution. Plus, new customers, ask how to get up to $1,500 in prepaid cards when you add 2 lines of mobile to a qualifying gig bundle. Don't wait. Call today. Limited time offer. Restrictions apply. New customers only. 1-year agreement, paperless billing, and automatic payments with bank account required. $60 offer requires 300 meg internet, security edge, and additional qualifying service. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. Prepaid card offers end 9/13/2026.
I started Davis Law Group in 1994 to fight for the underdog. And as our team has grown, we've stayed true to that mission. Today, Davis Law Group is known for providing excellent service and even better results. Visit WashingtonAccidentBooks.com to get your free book on car accident law.
Summer is in full swing at T-Mobile Park, and it's not too late to come on board as a Mariners season ticket member. With a Flex plan, you can choose your games and seats as you go and lock in priority postseason pre-sale access. Join today at mariners.com/flex.
At Guardian Roofing, Gutters, and Insulation, we understand improving your home is an investment in your family, and we're here to help make it easier. With our flexible financing, keeping your family safe, comfortable, and dry has never been more affordable. For more than 20 years, Guardian has earned the trust of thousands of homeowners across the Pacific Northwest with a reputation for quality that lasts. So why wait? Start guarding your home today. Call or visit GuardianRoofing.com.
Progressive knows you want to get away, but not like too away. You crave the unknown, but also charcuterie boards with 4 types of cheese. And that's exactly why you bought an RV and bundled it with Progressive, because 24/7 protection is one luxury you'll never have to give up. So go ahead, explore the wilderness, all from the comfort of your zero-gravity camp chair. Switch to Progressive and protect your RV, boat, or motorcycle by bundling with your home or auto insurance. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. But at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited everything for just $35 a line. That's $35 a month for unlimited talk, text, and data. Switch to the carrier ranked #1 in network coverage and customer satisfaction and get unlimited everything for just $35 a month. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit Consumer Cellular online or in-store today. Price includes $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. Taxes and fees apply. Data speeds reduced after 35 gigabytes. Rankings done by 2025 ACSI survey.
Anthony Hamilton with Tony, live in the Tulalip Amphitheater, Thursday, September 10th. Tickets are on sale now. Details at TulalipCasino.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Jillian Raftery. We now know more about charges leveled against Seattle Mayor Katie Wilson that could lead to a recall. James Lynch is following that story.
Melinda Jacobson is a retired nurse who filed the paperwork on Tuesday. She lives near Aurora Avenue North, where neighbors have dealt with ongoing gun violence. Jacobson cites in her charges public safety failures, including the mayor's decision to turn off CCTV cameras.
It tells me that her priorities are not the average citizen's priorities. And, when you're elected mayor, you're supposed to listen to the citizens. She apparently is not doing that.
Now the recall charges will undergo a technical review by the King County Prosecuting Attorney's Office. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
We're also hoping to learn more today about a shooting involving Seattle police. Yesterday, plainclothes officers were tailing a stolen car when someone shot at them. The suspects sped off, crashed, and tried to carjack someone before they were arrested. 4 people were hospitalized in the crash or the scuffle to arrest those 3 suspects. Another emotional day in court in Massachusetts in the murder trial of Lindsay Clancy. Clancy's facing murder charges in the death of her 3 children, but her attorneys say she was suffering from postpartum psychosis. More from ABC News' Peter Charalambos on messages Clancy had on her phone.
She mentioned concerns about being inundated about information about how to parent her children. She wrote in part, quote, "I'm terrified of something happening to my kids." She also raised concerns about the lack of sleep she was getting at the time and her fear about different medications, writing, quote, "I'm on the fence about starting a new medication. I just want to feel happy." And as it got closer to January 24th, 2023, when she killed her 3 kids, the message is getting more disheartening, quote, "Can you treat a sociopath?"
It's not your imagination. Gas prices have been rising again, and the national average is now at its highest ever this late in the calendar year, according to Gas Buddy. The national average has never been above $4 a gallon for regular after August 12th. Prices usually follow a seasonal cycle, starting low in the winter and climbing through the spring because of higher demand and a switch to more expensive summer blend fuels. Right now, it sits at $4.07 nationally, a 20-cent increase over the last month. In Washington, the average is $5.16. Now we're going to look at your traffic, and you're looking pretty good. In Northeast 50th Street in the University District, though, there is an issue. There's 2 left lanes blocked on either side because of a collision there. Otherwise, travel times are ticking down. Linwood to Seattle, 34 minutes in the southbound direction. Linwood to Bellevue, 43 minutes. Renton to Bellevue, 20 minutes. And Federal Way to Seattle, 26 minutes. This traffic report is brought to you by the KIRO Newsradio app. Weather forecast today, we are starting a little bit cloudy, but those clouds die off and give way to hazy but sunny skies, a high of 81. About the same tomorrow, 81 degrees, overnight lows in the high 50s, and 80 all the way through the weekend and mostly sunny. It is 63 degrees right now in downtown Seattle. I'm Jillian Raftery for KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
It is the Gee and Ursula Show. Gee is off today. Angela Poe Russell is in, and we are going to talk about the pursuit of perfection and how that's having a toll on our younger generation. And we're seeing this in schools and universities.
Yeah, this is a major issue. Many of you may have seen the headlines yesterday that one of our nation's top colleges is moving away from publishing grades for freshmen and instead moving to a pass or fail system. This is at the University of Michigan's College of Literature, Science, and the Arts. It's the largest college at the university, and this new process, if you will start next fall. Here's how it will work. Students will receive grades and feedback from their instructors, but they're not going to be recorded or impact the student's overall GPA. The university will maintain internal records of the grades for advising, scholarship, and internship applications and other purposes. What's driving this decision, Ursula, is something that's been going on for a long time, a true mental health crisis on college campuses. And here's a little context for why I'm saying this. The National Education Association published a report from the Healthy Minds Network. It's like a consortium of researchers, scholars based at a few universities. More than 90,000 students on 133 U.S. campuses participated in this survey. And here's what it found. The majority of college students, 60%, meet the criteria for at least one mental health problem. That is a 50% increase since 2013. 44% of students had symptoms of depression, 37% anxiety, 15% say they were considering suicide, the highest rate in the 15-year history of the survey. Many experts feel that de-emphasizing grades could reduce the pressure that contributes to those symptoms. Is this an example of coddling, becoming too soft, or is this move by University of Michigan moving us in the right direction?
The wussification of America? I will say that I wish I'd had this when I was in college. I will say that my first semester was abysmal. It was awful.
Same.
It was so bad. And it, made it hard to dig out of, but it did get better. And I am seeing this even years ago when my sons were in school. In particular, I have one who is somewhat perfectionistic and would be just so hard on himself if he got anything less than a 4.0, right? And if you have already someone who's like that and then going into college where things are very different, their mental health and their well-being, I think that there is an absolute adjustment period in that first semester or first quarter, for sure. And it's not to say, I can see where someone would say, well, this is how they learn. This is how, it's a weed out process but you want your kid to get an education. And that first quarter, as they're adjusting, should not be the one that is a make or break.
Yeah. Here's what I want to know. How did we get here? How do we get here? Because someone said, okay, they're doing this because people feel too pressured by failure. No, this isn't failure. This is people stressing out over B's. I know someone, their kid was in danger of getting a B at college, and it was like all hands on deck because there might be a B. And
wait, hold on. All hands on deck,
yes.
As in parents were jumping in too?
Yes.
Bring in the chaplain.
Okay, well, you want to know how this happens? You know why kids are high anxiety, high stress, high depression, because that's too much. Like everyone's jumping in on the bee.
Well, let me ask. I don't know about you, but when I was in school, like I had my own internal pressure, but in college, I didn't have this expectation that I had to get straight A's in order to get a job. And now, for some reason, let me give you this story. I actually shared this off camera, but we were at a college fair, and a group of kids, including my daughter, walked up to an admissions officer, and the first thing out of his mouth was, "All of you have 4.0s, right?"
And was this serious or facetious?
I don't know, but either way.
Yeah, that's just, again,
if that's the first
what's
thing
the
you
messaging,
say.
right?
And so what I'm trying to figure out, though, is something deeper, is how do we get to a point, because I was reading a book about this mental health care crisis in college, and they were saying colleges were not built to have so many kids coming in with major mental health problems. So I think it's starting in the teen years, and now the colleges are like, wait, we don't have enough counselors here. We don't have enough. And so is it just the pressure of grades? Is something deeper going on?
Oh, it starts with, we need to get into these elite colleges. Oh, admissions. How do you game it, or how do you work it? How many things did you have to have in your high school resume to get into those very prestigious colleges? You see that.
Yeah, I was everyone, I was telling Ursula this morning how my daughter was basically saying, I have a few A- on my transcript, and this is going to affect me. And I was just, I didn't. How do you even respond over A-?
I'll tell you what happened when, and this sounds so ridiculous, and people will be saying, "Oh, I wish I had that problem." But when you have a child like that who feels like they're a failure if they are not perfect, it's troublesome. I mean, and what I say is, it's always how you respond. First of all, I actually think that she might stand out because she does have a couple. If everyone has a 4.0, I mean, there could be a story.
Boring.
If you end up with a 3.98, for example, or there's a story behind it. You can share it. Like, you realize, wait a minute.
But are we having this discussion, Ursula, over A-?
It's ridiculous.
No,
that's what I'm saying. Like,
we're not, though, right? Because
wild.
this isn't just happening at the Dukes and the Princetons and elite academic institutions. It's across all academic institutions, and including ones that are not super competitive. And there's the COVID effect on kids, of course, but I will just point to, like, my own kid. As soon as life gets stressful, as soon as life gets boring, as soon as there's some kind of emotional dysregulation, the instant thing he wants is a screen as a pacifier, right? And we have a generation. This is really the first generation that we're seeing growing up from cradle to college with screens in their hand.
Yeah.
And you can say, well, there's conflicting research and blah, 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 blah. I'm sure that's true, but you cannot negate the effects of a screen-led life.
Well, screen-led life and an I want to say overbearing, but over-involved parenting. I mean, there's one problem of not having parents involved, but you can do it to an excess. Mike in Portland just texted in, this is the result of a generation of coddling, kids not being exposed to stress or fear or anxiety, and then they go off to college and they experience all those things in real life and they can't cope.
I think that's not true, because I think kids actually see stress and fear and anxiety constantly because they're exposed to the dangers of the world, the fears of the world, like the existential risk of climate change, like all of that stuff. They see it every single day. I had no idea what was going on in Africa or South Carolina when I was 11 years old. Today, kids know about everything that is happening globally.
And what has that done to their brains to experience
constant
the horrors
perception
of the
threat.
world?
Yeah, constant perception of threat.
And that's where we as parents and adults in their lives need to also help them put things into perspective.
Right.
And I think that's part of it. I do think that there are so many books about how to get your kids into college and those elite colleges and all that. I think so many people are buying into that our kids are feeling our parents' stress. I think. Yeah. I mean, I recognize that after the fact when the second son had very different expectations and very different things that he wanted. And you know what? Both of them are doing fine. You don't have to be perfect going into college. But back to the Michigan thing, I actually would like to see what the results of that are. I think it's an interesting idea.
I think we should do more of this, because what ends up happening is instead of selecting subjects that students might be genuinely interested in and want to explore, you will maybe pick a subject where you know you can do well and get a good grade. And what a boring life. And my highest hope for all of our kids is that they can explore their interests, whether it's a trade, whether it's, college, and do something they're passionate about as opposed to just winning.
Absolutely.
And whatever, winning seems like living an authentic life that you can call your own and be able to pay your bills.
And remember, failure is a chance to grow, and it's also a chance to learn.
Just tell the people in charge that.
Yes. Okay, coming up, Ask Ursula. We're going to hear from you, your ideas with a very interesting dilemma that a listener posed for us. That's coming up next.
Heartburn. Quick, Alka-Seltzer. Because nothing is worse than heartburn after a long day. When you're finally off the clock, dinner's done, feet kicked up, kids asleep, and boom, heartburn tries to steal the moment. Quick, Alka-Seltzer. Because nothing works faster for heartburn relief. The effervescent tablets start neutralizing acid in seconds, so you can sit back, relax, and unwind from your day. Next time heartburn hits,
quick, Alka-Seltzer.
Use as directed.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Certain industries expose workers to hazardous chemicals. If you worked in a paper or pulp mill, or in aircraft manufacturing or painting at Boeing, and have a child born with birth defects, your child may be entitled to legal damages as a result of your exposure to such chemicals. Birth defects have been linked to toxic chemicals, metals, and solvents used in these industries. If your child was born with brain or spinal cord damage, organ or limb malformations, blindness, cerebral palsy, genetic damage, or other birth defects, and you're a past or present worker in a paper or pulp mill, aircraft manufacturing, or painting, contact us now toll-free at 1-866-99-TOXIC. Your children may be entitled to legal damages. If you're a past or present worker in a paper or pulp mill or aircraft manufacturing or painting at Boeing, and your child has a birth defect, call toll-free at 1-866-99-TOXIC. Your call is confidential. 1-866-99-TOXIC. Message authorized by Weinstein Cajano, 600 University Street, Suite 1620, Seattle, Washington.
You've worked hard, saved diligently, and now retirement is on the horizon. But will your nest egg go the distance? With rising cost and uncertain markets, there's no time for oversimplified plans. Hi, Jeff here with Madrona Financial and CPAs. Don't settle for a partial plan. Get the real deal by requesting your no-cost Madrona analysis today and discover what you may be missing. Call 833-673-7373 right now to request your analysis. That's 833-673-7373.
All right, I'm so excited to be talking with Phil Mitchell. He's a new advertiser to the show. He owns Sunset Auto Family. Phil, welcome.
Thanks, Jake.
You guys offer something that I think is so valuable. We have so many listeners in our audience who are business owners and a lot of people who are driving commercial vehicles. You guys are basically like a perfect silent partner because you offer repairs for life on these commercial vehicles. Tell me about that.
Well, basically, repairs for life means any vehicle that we repair for over $250, we're going to cover that repair for as long as you own the vehicle. So if you got a commercial fleet and you put a transmission in your 250,000-mile truck, we're going to cover that for life.
And you think about the value added there for a small business owner who is trying to stretch every single mile out of these vehicles.
You don't even have to buy the vehicle from us to get the repairs for life. Basically, we want to service your entire fleet. So if you bought your fleet from somewhere else, let us service it. We'll give you repairs for life. We're going to save you thousands.
Love it. Only at Sunset Ford and Sunset Chevrolet in Sumner. You just get more at Sunset, and people do like that.
I'm not one to say I told you so, but I switched to Pure Talk over a year ago, and ever since, I've been telling people there's no better wireless company out there. Well, a few months ago, a massive survey was conducted. 123,000 people were asked to rate their wireless carrier in 4 categories: coverage, support, data, and overall value. Well, the results are in. Guess which wireless company was the only wireless company to get 5 stars in every category? Yeah, Pure Talk. 5 stars, every category. To celebrate, Pure Talk is offering the first 3 months of any plan for just $15 a month, including their top-tier unlimited plan. No contract, no commitment, just a very inexpensive way to test drive the only American wireless company with 5 stars in every category. Just dial pound 250, say micro, and Pure Talk's U.S. customer service will take it from there. Again, pound 250 micro. And yes, I told you so.
Guys, your testosterone level impacts your energy, drive, weight, hair loss, and even ED. Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your T level for free. For your free T level check, exam, and consultation, call 206-529-1111 or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
You know that feeling on a Friday night after a long week and all you want to do is just get away from everything? What if you didn't have to go anywhere? John Curley here. Seattle Hot Tub Company carries hot tubs, swim spas, and cold plunges for every lifestyle. A hot tub for those quiet evenings under the stars, swim spa for the morning workout, and cold plunge for recovery. All American-made products, different sizes, different features, different price points. Always clearly marked. There's no games and no high-pressure sales. Find them online at seattlehottub.com.
Welcome back. This is a question from a listener for our Ask Ursula column, which you can find on mynorthwest.com. Hi, Ursula. I'm worried about my cousin's daughter, who I'm going to call Lauren. She's almost 17, and although our families have not been especially close the past few years, I recently had a chance to spend some time with her. And I asked her how she was doing, and she actually really opened up to me. She told me that she's failing high school. She isn't sure how she's going to finish. She wants to graduate, but she and her mom disagree about what school she should attend for her senior year. But even more concerning, Lauren told me she feels like she can't talk with her mom, and she also said that she's been using a lot of drugs, but she claims that she's clean now. So her parents have been separated for years. Her younger brothers do spend time with her dad, but Lauren refuses to go because she doesn't like being at his house. She's working. She's trying to figure out school. She seems to be trying to get herself back on track. My husband and I told her that we're here for her if she ever needs help, but I'm struggling because I don't know what to do with everything that she's told me. I don't want to betray her trust, but I also don't want to stay silent if she's struggling more seriously than her mom realizes. Should I talk to her mom? Do I encourage Lauren to tell her the details herself? How do we stay involved in her life without crossing the line?
Ooh, and so this is this an aunt? That's the part I missed.
Basically, let's just call her an aunt.
A relative.
Yes,
exactly. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And the part that she wants to, or is wondering if she should share, is it the drugs part?
Yeah, the drugs part.
Yeah.
And yeah,
this is a safety issue. Or okay, here's what you could do. Option A, because you want our opinion.
Yes,
what we do first.
Absolutely. Yes.
I would say talk to her. Mm-hmm. And say, look, I want to keep the confidence that you have in me, keep it private. But this is a safety issue. So I need you to tell your mom, or you can say, are you willing to be tested voluntarily? And if you're clean, maybe I'm thinking off the dome. Okay.
Yeah, of
so
course.
I have
Yes.
time to think about it.
Yes. No, it's hard.
Because
it's not
I do
easy.
think having a trusted adult that will come to you is important.
Yes.
And so for me, the big thing is if she were still doing drugs, it would be no question. It would be, I need you to tell your mom or I'm going to tell her.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Chef?
I mean, I'm not clear if mom doesn't know already that she's using drugs, because she said we disagree on which school I'm going to attend for my senior year, implying there's been some sort of issue like with her getting kicked out of that school or failing. Like, you can't fail out of a high school. So something had to have happened. I would maintain your status as is, because if she says she cannot talk with her mom, I don't know a 16-year-old or a 17-year-old. Like in my circumstance, there is no way I would have been talking to my parents about anything. And if somebody forced me to do that, I would have immediately had 2 middle fingers up in my head, and you're dead to me. I would like, if she needs to talk to her mom about something, and you think that she does, offer to do that with her. And that's the best solution I can think of.
I actually hear that. Like, that's a good advice.
But like, you never know when a call might come in the middle of the night. You say you have a room for her. Like, hey, I'm stranded. Like, my mom kicked me out. Like, you might need to be that safety valve for her at some point.
And that is basically the advice that I gave, is that I would start with Lauren and encourage her to talk to her mom herself. And I know that would be hard, since she said, I don't talk to her. I also would encourage her, first of all, to share a little bit more. I want to know more about, okay, was she doing a lot of drugs? How is she staying clean now? Does she need support with that? And she also said she doesn't like being in her dad's house. Is there something that is making her uncomfortable or unsafe about going to her dad's house? But if she absolutely refuses to talk to her mother, even if you say, I'm willing to come with you and help with that conversation, then I do think if she's unsafe, or she's using drugs again, or being hurt, or thinking about hurting herself, then I think secrecy is no longer the priority. Then I would say, Lauren's the priority. I would bring it up, at least give mom enough information that if she doesn't really know, give her enough information to use. Because if I'm the mom in that case and I had no idea,
I'd feel betrayed.
I would feel betrayed. But still, I think there's a way that mom can also work with Lauren without betraying the person who wrote this letter, and not throwing her under the bus, but just saying, you know what, I'm concerned about you because of XYZ.
Yeah. Would it make a difference? Oh, please go ahead.
Why do I have the feeling that you have both been that person for some young person?
I have been that person.
Not
2
quite.
times.
Not quite. I think Ursula's so like.
No, I'm not anything special,
that for
but
both of you.
yeah, I could see you absolutely doing it. But if you want to see the whole answer, you can see that on mynorthwest.com. And if you have a dilemma, again, everyone's anonymous, but we like it that this comes from you, and we want to help you. I'm here to hear you out. Okay, we'll have more of the Gee and Ursula Show coming up.
Our founders believed that freedom wasn't just a word. It was a way of life. The freedom to move forward, the freedom to pursue what matters most, the freedom to live fully. But aging has a way of taking those freedoms away. That's why there's Longevity Medical Clinic. John Curley here. My best move was becoming a patient of Longevity Medical Clinic years ago, and second best move, getting my wife Nicole to join me this year. Stop guessing and start working with a doctor who knows your goals and get personalized care designed around you, not the average patient. Discover what's holding you back and what can help you thrive with longevity. Aging is natural, but some of the effects are undesirable, and you don't want to have to just accept it. So this year, as we celebrate 250 years of freedom, ask yourself a simple question. Are you living with the freedom you deserve? Get real answers about your health and get your free health analysis at Longevity Medical Clinic. Find out more at lmclinic.com.
For the ones who get it done, Grainger offers the professional grade products you need, delivered when and where you need them. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by.
Veterans and active duty service members, when your call to service ends, your mission doesn't have to. Go from GI to IT in just a few months at My Computer Career. Prepare for a high-demand career in cybersecurity, protecting people, systems, and institutions from real cyber threats. Cyber warriors are needed now. Will you answer the call? Go to mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to learn more. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. An elite CompTIA certification. education partner. VA education benefits are available to those who qualify.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Doug.
Hot dog! Get your hot dog!
Customize and save with Liberty Mutual.
Hey, what are you doing?
I like your method. Direct, to the point. A little loud, but...
Listen, people don't buy car insurance the same way they do hot dogs.
Not yet, but both are customizable.
Popcorn! Get your popcorn!
Hey, this is a hot dog area.
And customize and save area. Get a quote at libertymutual.com or with your local agent.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
The Black Crows, live in the Tulalip Amphitheater, Sunday, August 30th. Tickets are on sale now. Details at TulalipCasino.com.
Packed team buses, light rail and ferries. There are different routes to game day, but the destination is always the same. This city lives for Sunday. Get your tickets for Seahawks game days at Seahawks.com today.
If you haven't been to the Earthwise Salvage Lumber Warehouse in Soto yet, this is the week. Fresh shipments land every day. Beams, flooring, shelves, live edge slabs, and so much more. One-of-a-kind pieces you can't find anywhere else. Contractors, designers, DIYers, no time to lumber around. Inventory changes daily. This stuff is rare, it's real, and once it's gone for good. So get here first. Earthwise Salvage Lumber Warehouse. Open in Soto. Go to ewsalvage.com.
KIRO FM and HD1 Tacoma, Seattle.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. In Texas, military and civilian investigators are on the scene near Fort Hood following yesterday's deadly helicopter crash. Here's ABC's Jim Ryan.
The Apache attack helicopter was carrying 2 soldiers, both of whom were killed when the aircraft went down southeast of Fort Hood, where the Apache and the crew were based. It also sparked a wildfire that forced the evacuation of several homes and has burned about 155 acres of pasture and brushland.
In Colombia, search and rescue efforts continue for signs of life following Monday's powerful earthquake. Officials say 273 people are dead and more than 370 others are reported missing. In Massachusetts, the trial continues for Lindsay Clancy, the mother charged with killing her 3 children. Defense attorneys argue Clancy suffered from postpartum psychosis and did not receive adequate medical care. And in California, a 3.8 magnitude quake struck in San Francisco's East Bay this morning, rattling residents. But there's no reports of damage. This is ABC News. After weeks of the Powerball jackpot rolling over, last night's drawing resulted in a winning ticket sold in the heart of the Midwest.
Along the Mississippi River on the fat part of Illinois sits the city of Quincy, home to Powerball's newest billion-dollar winner. John Marshall got a call about it today from his boss.
At 3 a.m., I thought something was wrong, but he just wanted to let me know that we sold the winning ticket.
Worth in a lump sum $450 million minus taxes. Marshall's Hy-Vee fast and fresh gas station and convenience store will get $500,000 for selling the winning ticket, but he's all about the recognition.
Most of the jackpots are in bigger cities and on the coasts and stuff like that, so it's great to bring light to the Midwest.
Sherry Preston, ABC News.
No word yet on who won. A candidate in the UK giving new meaning to trash talk in politics. Count Binface, the brainchild of British comedy writer Jonathan Harvey, hasn't made a name for himself running in 7 elections. He's now taking on Nigel Farage for a seat in the parliament. Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
We've now gotten a response from Seattle's mayor on a recall petition filed to unseat her. We will have that in just a moment. But first, your KIRO News Radio traffic. And we're looking pretty good. Almost your midday, completely light, but not quite so much. Linwood to Seattle is still 38 minutes. Federal Way to Seattle on I-5 northbound, 25 minutes. The lake bridges are clear, though, and we've got almost completely dissipated traffic on 405 northbound, just like maybe a little bit of slowing through the S-curves and right around I-90, that kind of merge area there. But otherwise, you're looking pretty good. This report brought to you by the KIRO Newsradio App. Text app to 888-973-5476 to download the KIRO Newsradio app. Listen to your favorite shows and get the latest news and updates sent straight to your phone.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Jillian Raftery. We are now hearing from Seattle Mayor Katie Wilson for the first time since recall paperwork against her was filed on Tuesday. Here's KIRO News Radio's James Lynch.
A couple living along Aurora Avenue North filed the paperwork and they cited dereliction of duty. Melinda Jacobson says it all came down to this.
I've been thinking about this for a while, but the icing on the cake, so to speak, was when she did a forced resignation of Chief Barnes, and that did it.
In a written response, the mayor said, "We are aware the petition has been filed. While it does not appear to have merit, our focus remains where it belongs, on making life safer and more affordable for the people of Seattle." James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
A man found shot to death in Parkland marks the second homicide investigation this week in that area. The Pierce County Sheriff's Department says the call came in just after 6 p.m. Wednesday to a suburban area on the 10200 block of 18th Avenue South. The man was pronounced dead at the scene. On Monday, deputies responding to the 1700 block of 168th Street East found a man dead of apparent gunshot wounds in a shed. And plainclothes Seattle police officers survived being shot at in South Seattle. They were apparently tailing a stolen car. In a separate investigation when it happened, there was a crash and a chase and a carjacking attempt before all three suspects were arrested. 4 people were hospitalized in the aftermath. Sound Transit says it needs another $765 million to acquire property and prepare for the link extension to West Seattle, but it says it won't change the overall budget. KIRO News Radio's Chris Sullivan has been following this.
The Sound Transit Expansion Committee is expected to vote this afternoon on whether to more than double the price tag for acquiring property for the 3.9-mile extension of light rail from SoDo to West Seattle. There are currently 55 parcels of land inside the expected footprint. This would increase the expected cost of property acquisition and construction support services from $739 million to more than $1.5 billion. Sound Transit says this increase will not change the overall budget of the extension. It is factored into the current total cost estimates of the project, which are around $5 billion. Chris Sullivan, KIRO News Radio.
350 National Guard members are now fighting fires around our state. They're working on ground crews and providing aerial support. They've also made a dent on the Little Giant fire in Leavenworth, near Leavenworth, that's been burning for about a month and has swallowed up 127,000 acres. That fire is now 5% contained. It's at least a little progress from 0% containment. Now we're going to check your weather forecast, and we are expected to have a red flag warning for the Puget Sound area and the Cascade foothills. That means high fire danger. It's 81 degrees is our high today. Hazy skies. Hazy skies again tomorrow with also a high of 81. 62 degrees right now in downtown Seattle. I'm Jillian Raftery for KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Gee and Ursula Show on this beautiful Thursday morning. I got to say that we have listeners, Angela, who are still tuning in even on vacation. Jeff in Bonnie Lake being one of them. He's in Hawaii right now.
Jeff.
Jeff in Hawaii for this week.
Yes, exactly.
Good for Jeff.
Angela Poe Russell is in. Thank you so much for filling in today.
Yeah. I've listened to you on vacation.
Well, you are so sweet.
I think I do.
I love it. Okay, coming up at 11:30, we will agree to disagree. The Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line, of course, is open for you. 888-973-5476, 888-973-KIRO. And let's get to it.
Top stories at 11.
On the Gee and Ursula Show.
And we had a lot of people weighing in on the recall story. So we're going to bring it back up here in the 11 o'clock hour because in case you haven't been hearing it today, Seattle Mayor Katie Wilson is already facing an attempt for a recall. And the complaints from the couple who have petitioned for this are really focused on public safety. Here's Melinda Jacobson.
One of the things was the Aurora problem. When I talked to some of the people directly involved with the horrible situation there and found out that she had ignored their phone calls, emails, and trying to meet in person for over 6 months. That is appalling.
And she also mentioned all the crime in the Chinatown International District, Belltown, and then the mayor's decision to keep surveillance cameras turned off. And then also, finally, the decision to push Police Chief Sean Barnes out after the Bite of Seattle shooting.
When she first started, I thought she deserved the benefit of a doubt. But my big thing is public safety and how she's failed this city miserably in that regard.
And one of the things that we didn't talk about in the first hour, Angela, was whether you think the complaints or what are listed here are basically legit when it comes to trying to recall the mayor.
Yeah, I just don't. I mean, they're legitimate concerns. You clearly want your elected official to respond to public, requests from the public emails, but that's just, if they don't, that's just not being a responsive leader. That doesn't fall in, at least with Washington law, it doesn't fall into the category of being eligible for recall. So I'm just wondering if there's more to this complaint that we'll find out more about later.
I don't think so.
I mean,
I think it's based on what she's done in these first 8 months.
Yeah, I mean, not responding to emails or requests, like that doesn't rise to the level. Making a decision on how you want to, like even mistakes, like if you just simply make a mistake, that alone does not qualify for a recall effort.
No, because you have to prove several things. Malfeasance, which is doing something illegal connected with official duties, and all these things that we discussed, they're not illegal. They were bad decisions, potentially, but illegal? Or misfeasance, performing an official duty improperly. Now, that may be something. There might be something there.
Improper according to who?
Yeah, I don't know what the legal bar is.
Yeah,
yes,
right?
Exactly. And then the other one is violation of the oath of office, neglecting or knowingly failing to faithfully perform a duty imposed by law. I think it's a long shot. And as we mentioned, the most recent Seattle recall election of any elected official was Shama Sawant. And I would say that she still survived. So even that, as unpopular as she was, she still survived. Because even if it were to go to, okay, now we're going to see if we can collect enough signatures, you have to get like close to 70,000 valid signatures to do this and then go for a vote. So there's a lot of steps.
Yeah. And so even though we don't think, like, I just don't see a legal reason. I agree with you, Ursula. Someone did ask, like, if it, like I said, long shot did somehow happen, who would be the mayor? Would that be the city council? Like, or there probably have to be a special election? We'd have to research.
It would be
that.
the city council president,
Which is
right?
Joy Hollingsworth.
Yeah, because go back to Ed Murray when he stepped down.
Yes.
Ended up being Bruce Harrell.
Right.
Do you guys feel like we're in a moment where the urge to recall is stronger than it used to be? Because I don't know, from my anecdotal experience, I don't recall so much animus against local politicians or national ones to the point where someone gets elected, I don't like them, I think they're going to do a bad job, they're elected, they do something I don't like, and immediately it's like the pitchforks and recalls come out on both sides of the aisle, or whatever local issue is.
Yeah. Well, and I think it points to a couple of things. One is the necessity to vote. I mean, this mayoral election, there wasn't this huge turnout. First of all, she only won by a couple of thousand votes.
Mandate of the people,
and it has to be. It has to be a good reason. I think if I'm looking at this from Mayor Wilson's perspective, I would say I understand because these two filed it, but there are other people who've been asking. I read the comments and I see what people are saying. There are a lot of people who are very unhappy. Again, there are people who are happy with what she did, but the bar does need to be high. You can't just remove somebody.
Yeah, here's what drives me nuts, though, is what did we think was going to happen? One thing I can say about Mayor Wilson, she did not lie about who she was.
No.
On the campaign trail, she said, I am a socialist. So as a socialist, where do you think she might lean when it comes to how we manage public safety, how we manage people who are, I remember even asking her a question during a debate. If someone is in a tent let's say on a public street, and refuses to go to the shelter, what would you do? And she would not answer that question.
I remember that.
Yeah, because
we played that. Yeah, and Bruce was like, no, that's not acceptable. And she was like,
so what I'm wondering is the people that voted for her, what were you voting for or were you voting against? Because everyone's acting all surprised. I shouldn't say everyone, but a lot of folks are acting all surprised. And we knew she didn't have experience. That was made clear. Her experience was limited to the Transit Riders Union. So with a person who does not have, any significant political experience, which that's fine. I'm just saying she didn't. I'm just stating a fact. And she's a socialist. Of course there are going to be, do you know what it was like when I first started anchoring a broadcast, how many mistakes I made? So, yeah, buckle up, Buttercup, because
elections have consequences.
Well, this is a person. Hopefully, she'll continue to try to surround herself with good people. And
can I make a sweeping statement? Because we talk about how uniquely unqualified she was and is for this office, right? And we compare her to Bruce Harrell, who is incredibly qualified for that job. Is it fair to say that Bruce Harrell was simply not very popular?
He wasn't popular enough because he didn't survive an election.
We don't give enough credit to how uniquely, I guess, disliked he was by Seattle voters. And I don't know what I would credit that to.
Well, the Seattle voters have also a history of not reelecting mayors. The last one was Greg Nichols.
Yeah, they didn't feel like, because he ran and said public safety is important to me. And I think people didn't feel like the change was happening fast enough.
Well, and we didn't elect a super lefty city council or anything, right?
What was that?
We didn't have a super lefty city council.
It had been more moderate.
He had just gotten, when he first got in office, he had a very lefty council. Yep. And then I want to say with a year or so left, he finally got the council a little bit more towards, being more moderate. But I think, would you agree, Ursula, people didn't feel like change was happening fast enough in the city?
And what Katie Wilson did do really well is she resonated with those voters who feel like the city has become too much for the rich and not enough for people who want to be able to buy a pizza for less than $8.
And here's the other thing that drives me nuts. Valid concern. But when have I seen a mayor be able to make a difference in housing costs? And it's just like when with people saying, I voted for President Trump for the economy. There are just some things that the world is going to turn. And I just don't know sometimes how much power these people have to actually change.
They have power to make policy changes, and policy changes will have impact on your feeling of safety or also but I think what I hear you say is it's unrealistic to think that they're going to do it in one term.
I haven't seen it. It's been really, yeah. I don't know what to say.
Okay, well,
the state legislature, honestly, is where I got my eye.
Yeah. I look at every body of government. I have my eye.
That part.
Yes, exactly.
That part.
Because our well-being is unfortunately tied, and especially local. Our well-being is tied to local policy.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about that. If you own a home in Seattle, how many times have you gotten one of those unsolicited offers for your home, where you either get a call or you get a text or you get a postcard saying, we want to buy your house? Because the city wants to give homeowners a way to stop those calls and text messages from coming. I get them. The city council has now approved a do not solicit registry for homeowners who don't want those phone calls or text messages. The concern is that some of these buyers are deliberately targeting people who may be vulnerable. For example, the elderly or someone who may just succumb to the pressure of selling for less than their homes are actually worth. Councilmember Dion Foster says she's heard from homeowners who feel like they're being preyed upon. So if someone contacts you and you're on the registry, that person who contacts you could face a $1,000 fine for the first violation, $2,000 for additional violations within a year. And Mayor Wilson is expected to sign it. I will say that I like this.
I feel the same. Kudos to the Seattle City Council and to Mayor Wilson. I feel like this strikes a balance. I was at first worried when they were talking about banning it altogether, because if someone wants to make an offer on your home or send you a letter, they should be able to do that. I feel like this is almost like the do not call registry. Yes. And so, because it can be a good thing when someone reaches out to you wanting to buy your place. My mom actually sold a place that she and my dad had purchased years ago by someone soliciting.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I mean, but she wasn't actively trying to find a realtor and do all the work. And so someone came to her and researched and said, yeah, this is a fair price, negotiated. It worked out. I think the problem comes in when someone is, let's say, especially I've seen it with elderly people and they're in a vulnerable situation and get taken advantage of. So that way, if you know, hey, I don't want anyone coming to me, you can put yourself on this list. If you're open to the idea,
you can opt
then
into this
I love it.
Yes.
I think it strikes the balance, which is a nice thing to say in politics. Balance, people.
Hurrah.
Find the balance.
Yes, for sure. Okay, I don't want to hyper-focus on things regarding Seattle, but this is another one, though. If you're visiting Seattle, do you like putting coins in the parking meters?
I would rather sometimes do the coins than do the credit card. I'd like both options, but I'd rather, like, if I have coin, I'd rather have the option for people that don't have a credit card or it's more inclusive.
Here's another one, because the city council has now changed the law to guarantee that drivers can still use coins at the city's more than 10,000 on-street parking spaces, even as more and more people have really switched over to the digital payments.
Yeah. Did they already limit them, or were they talking about changing it? Do we know?
Well, there were about 80% pay by phone, another 18% use a credit card or a debit card. So there's just 1 or 2% of us who still use coins. I would be one of them.
I will tell you this. I am so triggered by this conversation. I'm getting triggered by everything today, because I feel like some of the systems we have put in place is not inclusive for elderly people or people with visual disabilities. I have had to help so many elderly people at these parking stations. Like, there was one lady, she was outside for a long time trying to figure out how to get an app, and you're older, you can't see. And the other day I was outside of a medical facility and these two elderly women were in front of the thing and couldn't figure out. And I said, hey, can I help you? And the prompts were coming on the screen, but they couldn't see them. Like, they could see enough,
especially if there's sunlight, right?
Exactly. They couldn't see them. They had to type in their license plate. They couldn't see. So I'm like, we've got to have a better system that really thinks about everyone in the community that we serve. Almost like how we try to have sidewalks that are accessible for wheelchairs.
Not quite getting there, though.
Yeah, exactly. So I just want us to think about everyone who's possibly using this. I know it can't be perfect, but coins would be... I just think we need to find a more inclusive way. And sometimes the city puts these... Okay, can I just say one more thing?
Yes.
Like this whole, we're not going to turn on red now in the city of Seattle. All right, that seems great in theory. Except now, when you try to turn on the green, pedestrians are walking. So I'm like, when do you turn? So I think it's going to create more accidents because people are going to get crazy and frustrated and impatient. And so I just feel like we don't think things fully through. Like, if you were going to do that, maybe give people a turn arrow, right? So that they actually... I'm really going.
No. I love it. I love your train of thought here. The thing that I'm stuck on is that there are only 1 to 2% still using coins, which might explain why. Have you ever been to those parking? They're just gross. The parking meters are usually just full of graffiti. They just look sticky and
Yes.
icky. And here I am still putting my coins in. I feel like I'm one of the last people that still uses coins and still uses
Where
cash.
do you get them from?
The coins. You have to buy things with physical money.
Yes. And I still use cash.
All right, you're a G.
I'm a G, like an
You got
OG.
money.
An OG,
You got
literally.
money.
No, it's not
You
that I
got
have
cash.
money. I know.
I'm
but
saying you just roll with cash. Is it a car, which is great.
I probably shouldn't advertise that, but I feel like the number of people who don't still pay with cash, I feel like I'm a fossil.
You and my husband, yeah. Which I actually like, because then I go to him and be like, hey, can I get some cash?
I think I've been handed change maybe twice in the last year. Right?
Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah,
Isn't that
but like I never use change, but I think this is great. Vancouver, BC got rid of coins, so you can't use them there. I think this is fine because I don't know if you've ever experienced this, but this has happened to me at least 4 or 5 times in Seattle where I've tried to pay with my credit card and either the credit card reader is broken,
yes,
or the machine itself is broken. It was never possible to not pay at a coin parking stall reader in the past unless someone had stuck gum in there.
Yes.
In which case a parking officer would see, hey, physically it's impossible to pay here. But I've gotten tickets because it's impossible to pay.
Well, because now
and
they
I don't
say-
have the time to go to court and be like, well, it wasn't working, I promise. Do you have any proof of that? Gee, I forgot to take pictures.
Oh. Oops.
What if so you said you're actually fine with not having the
No,
coins?
I'm fine with them keeping coins. It's
Oh, yeah,
great.
same. And do you know there are actually studies that show we spend less when we use cash? Because we're
Yeah.
attached to the money versus the card.
It's true.
feels
You feel
like-
the pain. Joni in the 253 says, Ursula, I continue to use coins as well. And just the other day, I was told at the drive-thru that they don't accept pennies anymore. What the heck? Cash is king, says Joni. Yeah, I do see more and more signs where they say we just round up or round down.
Yeah.
No more pennies.
And then
Because they stopped making them.
So someone wants to know, Mike says, do you have a coin purse too, Ursula?
No. No. No, can you hear that? No.
What is up with these topics? I feel so elevated right now. Like everything has been like a pain point.
Okay, well, we've got Agree to Disagree coming up next.
Okay.
So stay with us.
This hour is brought to you by DUI Heroes.
Charlie Harger.
I want to be a watchdog.
From Seattle's Morning News.
Somebody who is not accepting from the government at face value what they're telling you. I might not even be necessarily against a politician, but if I see an issue or a policy that I think are worthy of a conversation, I'm going to bring it up.
Hear Charlie's 7:35 commentary every morning on Seattle's Morning News.
You can watch all of Charlie's commentaries anytime on the KIRO Newsradio YouTube channel.
Rick was experiencing some pain in his knee.
Once I retired and really just golfed constantly, I think it kind of exacerbated.
It was getting to be too much for him.
It got to the point where I just almost couldn't sleep. I wanted to try anything to avoid surgeries.
So instead, he decided to see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine for stem cell therapy.
Yeah, I talked to him and he said, well, Rick, it's a new knee or we do the stem cell.
Since the procedure, Rick is back doing what he loves to do.
Here I am, golfing and enjoying it.
And now it's not just his knee. Rick has had stem cell treatment for both of his shoulders, his hip, and...
He did my thumbs.
So whether it's a hip like I had or a shoulder, knee, and thumb like Rick, before choosing surgery, see Dr. Mark Wagner first. He's the most experienced in the Northwest with over 20,000 stem cell procedures. Go to drmarkwagnermd.com.
Are you curious about who offers the best deals on top-rated Samsung, LG, and Sony TVs? The answer is surprising. It's not online, and it's not the warehouse clubs. The best deals on top-rated TVs are at Video Only. Don't believe it? Then check out the trade-in deals at Video Only. How about $500 for your old TV? Try doing that online. Before you buy that new TV, drop into Video Only. If you don't, you'll be sorry.
Are you looking for the best deal on a new home? Discover the D.R. Horton Home of the Week. With new home communities from Lacey to Stanwood, ranging from the low 500s to the high 1 millions. D.R. Horton has the right home at the best value for you. Your new home is within reach, so what are you waiting for? Learn more about the D.R. Horton Home of the Week. Visit drhorton.com and schedule a tour today. D.R. Horton, America's builder. An equal housing opportunity builder.
I like it hot.
Beg your pardon?
Can you make it hot for me, Dan?
I think so.
Half heated ain't hot enough.
No.
That's why I called you.
Apollo Plumbing.
Yeah, my sorry old water heater.
Oh.
Ain't getting me the hots anymore.
You want hot water.
That's what I said.
That's what we do at Apollo Plumbing.
And you're ready?
Right now.
When can you?
How about today?
Same day?
We'll have you in hot water tonight.
Clever. How about an upgrade?
A tankless water heater would mean endless hot water.
Now you're cooking.
That's just for starters.
Starters?
How about we make it a worry-free water heater?
Worry-free?
Wrenchie's worry-free warranty.
Which covers?
Repair, service, all included.
And when it wears out?
Apollo replaces it.
No extra charge?
Nothing.
Nil?
Nada. As an Apollo A-list member, you're covered.
And payments?
To fit your budget with approved credit, of course.
And I'm hot again.
Worry-free.
That's for me.
We're on our way.
Thanks for making it hot.
We're ApolloPlumbing.com.
Hi, I'm Terry from Sky Nursery, and our summer event season is here. We have something exciting planned for you every weekend all summer long. See thousands of beautiful flowers at the 50th Anniversary Dahlia Show. Enjoy a 2-day Ikebana exhibition on Japanese floral arranging. Join workshops on mosaics, bonsai, and even carnivorous plant terrariums. As a family-owned garden center, Sky Nursery loves partnering with local artists and makers to celebrate a vibrant creative community. See our summer schedule at skynursery.com.
Certain industries expose workers to hazardous chemicals. If you worked in a paper or pulp mill, or in aircraft manufacturing or painting at Boeing, and have a child born with birth defects, your child may be entitled to legal damages as a result of your exposure to such chemicals. Birth defects have been linked to toxic chemicals, metals, and solvents used in these industries. If your child was born with brain or spinal cord damage, organ or limb malformations, blindness, cerebral palsy, genetic damage, or other birth defects, and you're a past or present worker in a paper or pulp mill, aircraft manufacturing, or painting, contact us now toll-free at 1-866-99-TOXIC. Your children may be entitled to legal damages. If you're a past or present worker in a paper or pulp mill or aircraft manufacturing or painting at Boeing, and your child has a birth defect, call toll-free at 1-866-99-TOXIC. Your call is confidential. 1-866-99-TOXIC. Message authorized by Weinstein Cajano, 600 University Street, Suite 1620, Seattle, Washington.
Is your car's AC blowing warm air? Don't sweat it. Right now, save $50 on any AC service at Bucky's Complete Auto Repair. Honest pricing, guaranteed work, 16 family-owned locations, and no appointment needed. Stay cool this summer. Bucky's.com.
The Mariners are lighting up the sky all summer long with Fireworks Night, thanks to T-Mobile. The next show is coming up August 21st after the team takes on the Chicago Cubs. Get your tickets and check out the complete lineup at mariners.com/fireworks.
Experience the thrill of seeing orcas and humpback whales with Puget Sound Express. Join their family-run tours for guaranteed whale sightings departing daily from Edmonds. These are Seattle's most popular and well-reviewed whale tours. Book now at PugetSoundExpress.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Jillian Raftery. One of 3 people arrested after a shooting targeting plainclothes police officers will be in court this afternoon. We're hoping to learn more about them as well as the circumstances leading up to the incident. Investigators say officers in an unmarked car were following a stolen car and someone inside opened fire.
One did try to carjack another vehicle, which the officer was able to catch all 3 suspects.
And that all happened after a brief car chase and a crash. 4 people were hospitalized, including an officer, 2 suspects, and an uninvolved motorist. The other 2 suspects have not had cases referred to the prosecutor yet. Bothell police arrested a suspect shortly after 7 o'clock this morning in connection with last week's fire at the Fred Meyer near Thrasher's Corner. The suspect faces a first-degree arson charge and was also found in a stolen vehicle at the time of the arrest. No one was hurt in the fire, but the store had to be evacuated. Add another name to the list of companies leaving or drawing down its presence here in Washington state. Augur, a $150 million supply chain AI startup led by former Amazon operations chief Dave Clark, is moving its headquarters from Bellevue to Dallas. Clark has said in the past that the plan was always to expand in Texas, and this has nothing to do with taxes or changing regulations in Washington. But according to the Times, the move comes as nearly 1 in 4 Washington employers say they're considering leaving the state, citing rising taxes and regulation. Augur will keep an engineering office in Bellevue. Now we're going to check your traffic with KIRO News Radio real-time traffic, and we are looking very good. I'm going to check in on, we do have one issue that I think has cleared I-5 southbound just south of I-90. There was a disabled vehicle blocking the right lane. It looks like that's out of the way at this point, but we do have some slowing getting into Seattle, especially through the Northgate area. It's not as bad over that Ship Canal construction area. Looks like we got a new one here, I-5 northbound, just south of the 520 bridge. That explains that really thick backup all the way back to kind of the South Lake Union area. But from, Boeing Field all the way into Seattle, it's not a bad drive. You get a little bit of slowing through the West Seattle Bridge area and a little backup onto the bridge, but not too shabby. The lake bridges are clear. 405 is no big problem either. This report brought to you by Global Credit Union. Global Credit Union, where members enjoy no-fee accounts and early payday with direct deposit. Learn more at globalcu.org. Clouds give way to sunny but hazy skies today and a high of 81. Almost identical weather tomorrow with highs in the high 50s. And fantastic weather, if a bit smoky, the rest of this week. Keep in mind, though, we are in a red flag warning from noon to 9 p.m. in the Cascade foothills, so just be careful. That's increased fire danger. 66 degrees right now in downtown Seattle. I'm Jillian Raftery for KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line 888-973-5476. Man, we've had a lot of topics today. People are buzzing on our text line.
I know. I love it.
I love it. And so during the breaks, we get a chance to catch up and read some of them. And we will share a few at the end of the show. But just know that we are seeing what you are texting in. 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. It is time for us to agree to disagree. Brought to you by Guardian Roofing and Gutters.
One of these days, we just got to take off the gloves. Just really go at it.
So The Guardian published a list of 47 essential rules for summer, and they were prompts, reader prompts in this case. And one of them was, should I tell someone that they smell? And while Ursula is smelling quite fine today, I'm getting some notes of pineapple, little passion fruit, maybe galangal, pink peppercorn. She's got the tropical vibe going on. I assume this person is referring to when someone is smelling bad. So Angela, they did not specify stranger, family member, friend. They just, should I tell someone if they smell? And The Guardian says yes. What say you? Why did you get out of your chair?
I actually have this scenario now with someone who is a friend. And it's been on more than one occasion. And it's so bad that if you touch the person, the smell is on you.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
And this is a newer, almost like if you hug someone and they're wearing perfume.
Yes.
But you don't mind because they smell good. And so you have
some people mind, and I understand that. So before anyone comes after me, I know
Ursula's
that
a hugger.
Yes, I am a hugger.
This is a bad smell to the point where the bad smell lingers, and this didn't used to be the person's issue.
Is this a hygiene problem?
I don't know what's causing this.
Okay.
So it has to be. So I'm like, what do I do? So yes, someone
You've
needs
already
to tell
answered
them.
No.
Someone.
Well, how well do you know this person?
Pretty well, like occasional, have coffee or talk on the phone or whatever.
Do you think that other people are talking about this person?
I can't imagine they're
that
not.
They're not.
I can't. I've started to even ask people who know the person to be like, hey,
Oh,
have you know? But I haven't done it.
Okay. Well, the reason I'm saying, oh no, is because that would be my worst nightmare. If I really reeked and then someone didn't let me know, but they were talking about it with other people. You know what I mean? So I would rather know, even though I might initially have hurt feelings.
How would you tell them?
Well, and this is, and my answer to this question is, how well do you know them? And you could do it as, I'm really concerned that there might be a health issue, but, I have noted. It's tough. It is tough, but if it's to the point where other people are talking about it and you know other people within your circle are talking about it, I'm like, I feel like I want to be girl's girl, and I know that you're that way too. I would want to know.
Would you want to know, Angela?
I would, but I would. And then how would I feel about the person? But see, my personality is if they told me, I would be like, thank you. But some people's personality, maybe they'll hate you and think you're the most horrible. I don't know, but I really, really like this person.
Yes.
But it's become a point where I don't even want to.
Okay.
Because
so that's even more so a reason.
Bad. And it didn't used to be like that. So I'm like, what happened?
It might be a health-related issue. I mean, it really could be.
Yeah.
Or not. But again, I would want to know, and my initial feeling would be hurt, like, ouch. No one wants to know that they smell.
Someone is so bad. Why do I have the text line up during the show?
What did they say?
My consultant was like, Angela, it's G, isn't it? And I'm like, no.
Gee whiz.
It's definitely not.
It's not.
Mr. I shower twice a day and wear expensive. He smells great. We're all cowards, though, right? Like, deep down, most of us are cowards. We don't like confrontation, and we don't want to be the bearer of bad news.
I've had to actually have this conversation. I've shared with with all of you on the air. I mean, it was an employee.
So how did you do it?
It was someone I just had to say, I am concerned. I have to tell you that there are people who have complained. And I
complained
I
about
hate
what? What was the phrasing you used?
Basically, that
about your body odor.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I've had to do it two different ways. One was someone who, and here I am, someone who is a perfume freak. And I would want to know, like one time Sully told me, yeah, this one's a little bit strong. I haven't worn that one again.
Yeah.
And I would rather know than have people talk about it.
Okay,
behind my back.
All right. What if it's not a persistent issue, though? What if it is somebody who has someday they just have horrible breath?
I'm not saying anything.
Not saying anything?
If it's not all the time.
If it's every day, though, like.
Do you tell your partner if they have horrible breath?
Yes.
Before they leave the house? Before they leave the house, will you tell your partner?
I don't tell them. I'll offer a mint.
And there's your sign.
Yes.
Is that it?
My partner, and I would want the same for me. And so we just have, again, it's out of love. It's not trying to be rude, disrespectful, or anything. It's like, I'm trying to help.
Yeah.
I would, again, rather know. Just like if I have something on my teeth, please do not let me go the whole day with that on my teeth.
Because this is what I wonder. The person I'm talking about has a spouse. So I'm thinking.
How have they failed in their basic marital duties?
Okay, wait. Eric in Columbia City says personal smells, like Angela describes, can be an indication of serious illness. The key is to speak gently and privately. That is perfect.
Okay.
That is perfect.
Yeah.
I'll report back.
Yes, that is perfect.
You do not look thrilled. You are so desperately hoping somebody else has the conversation before you. Moving on, I'm going to have this conversation because G is not here. One of the questions posted to The Guardian is, when should I take off my sunglasses? To which they advise the sunglasses should only remain on while outdoors. But when you greet someone, that you should take the shades off, give them direct eye contact, and then it's okay to put them back on. Angela, you're up first. Are the sunglasses okay indoors, first of all?
No. I love you, G. I accept you. No. In general, I mean, if you want to wear them and just, you're at your computer and maybe light sensitive, like totally do your thing. But it is polite, and I have been guilty of not doing it sometimes or forgetting when I'm outside. But I agree. You should pull them down, because I remember doing a show one time with G, and we're talking, and I remember having a hard time having the conversation because I didn't realize how much I depended on someone's eyes.
Oh, yes.
When having a conversation. So I had to kind of adjust myself in a way because I was.
It's like having a phone call instead of a face-to-face.
It was hard. I really was relying on that eye contact to know, like, are you feeling what I'm saying? Or you kind of.
Yes.
There are things that you read. Is this a thing? I'm sorry.
No. And by the way, I'm not bringing this up specifically because of G.
No, and he doesn't wear them all the time.
Yeah, Unicycle Mike says, my sunglasses are prescription, LOL. I wear them indoors when I'm shopping. The lights bug me. And I think people do have some legitimate reasons.
Absolutely.
If you're doing it just for the fashion, I think it looks silly. If you're doing it because you have legitimate reasons, and G does. I mean, so
the light
he is bothered.
sensitivity's real.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So
studio lights.
Yes. Yeah. And these lights are ridiculous.
I think some people can pull it off, but the majority, I think, of people who wear sunglasses indoors, it's an affectation, right? It's a persona, and like most people look at it like, okay, Mr. Big Time, like too good to take off your sunglasses.
Yeah. And the other part that gets irritating, and I have glasses like this, are the ones that reflect the person's image.
Oh my God.
And then you're really
watching yourself.
because you're looking at yourself. So I find it easier if there's just a little shade of eye than I can,
It's always the fisheye lens view, too. It's not your best angle being reflected. Oh, God, I look that way?
Absolutely. Okay. We'll have words to live by and some of the text messages that really stood out to us. We'll have that next.
At Progressive, we know making a difference starts with making things happen. That's why we're partnering with organizations in your community to make change happen. By helping veterans get the reliable transportation they need, helping small businesses with everyday challenges, and providing aspiring homeowners with the educational resources to help them get into their first home. It's just another way we continue to innovate. Because you can't spell progressive without progress. Visit progressive.com/purpose to learn more. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Man, I love this place. I've been surfing here since I was a kid. Now, seeing my grandson out on the water, it means everything to me. Watching him and taking in the blue waves, the sea breeze, the blurry horizon.
If you have geographic atrophy, or GA, subtle changes in vision could mean it's progressing toward irreversible vision loss. Izervay is proven to slow GA progression and could help preserve your vision for longer, so you may keep seeing the world around you. Izervay, or avacincaptad pegol, is an eye injection. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may cause blood in the white of the eye, blurred vision, or a temporary increase in eye pressure. Do not drive or use machinery until vision has recovered after an eye injection or exam. Ask your retina specialist how you can slow your GA with Izervay. To learn more, call 1-855-IZERVAY or go to izervay.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
Anthony Hamilton with Tony, live in the Tulalip Amphitheater, Thursday, September 10th. Tickets are on sale now. Details at TulalipCasino.com.
It's Olympic Hot Tub's 49th birthday, and you get the gifts. Big savings on saltwater hot spring spas, plus free Bluetooth music and interest-free financing for 3 years. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
At the end of a long week, Nick and I settle into our hot tub. We look at each other and go, this is the life. There's just something about the end of the week in a hot tub. John Curley here. Seattle Hot Tub knows exactly how it feels. They've got hot tubs and swim spas, cold plunges for just about every single lifestyle. A hot tub for those, quiet weekends. A swim spa in the morning when you want to get a real workout without having to go to the gym. And a cold plunge for invigorating recovery. That's what I want to get. Seattle Hot Tub Company carries American-made products from Marquee and Cow Spas. Different sizes, different features, different price points. There's no games. There's no high-pressure sales pitch. Seattle Hot Tub Company has everything you'll need, from covers, steps, starter chemicals, and local delivery support. And even financing with hot tubs as low as $90 a month. Seattle Hot Tub Company, locally owned and always there. The getaway starts in your own backyard. Find them online at seattlehottub.com. come.
Tune in to Elevate Your Wealth. If you're 5 to 10 years from retirement, you do not have the time to deal with a market downturn.
With Mark Stimson and Casey Elkins.
It's important that you know what the rules are, because if you don't, you can make some tremendous decisions that could adversely affect you, and you may not be able to go back and fix it.
Tune in to Elevate Your Wealth, Saturdays at 11 a.m., right here on KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
Guys, if your energy is down, your workouts feel harder, and your drive isn't what it used to be, it may not be aging. It could be low testosterone. At Revive Health here in Seattle, the first step is simple: a free testosterone exam and consultation with an experienced medical provider. We'll review your labs, symptoms, and overall health to determine if testosterone therapy could help improve your energy, strength, and performance. And for a limited time, qualified patients can get started with a free month of TRT. Revive has helped over 120,000 men since 2011 improve energy, sleep, mood, and confidence. If something feels off, don't ignore it. Get answers and take control of your health. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit revivehealth.com. Revive Health. Elevate your vibe. Must medically qualify. Terms apply. Contact Revive for full details.
7 locations across Western Washington and a track record of success for their clients. Allow yourself to recover while Harold Carr Law Offices handles your insurance paperwork and settlement. Carr spelled with 2 R's. C-A-R-R. CarLaw.com. C-A-R-R. Car accident, call Carr.
When your closets don't work, the pantry's jammed, garage useless, most homes were never designed for real life. Charlie Harder here for Closets by Design. It's so much more than just closets, garages, pantries, laundry rooms, home offices, wall beds, all custom built. For a limited time, get 40% off plus an additional 15% off and 18 months 0% financing on approved credit if paid in full. Go to closetsbydesign.com or call 1-800-BY-DESIGN.
And just like that, we are at the end of our show today, and we wanted to share some of the text messages that have really caught our eye. And we'll start with you, Angela.
Oh, yes, because I'm completely prepared to do this. I've loved all the text messages, by the way.
Yes.
I just, here's where I get slow sometimes, is I forget how to remove the lock, but I'm here. All right, we were talking about the recall effort that was launched to oust Mayor Katie Wilson from office. Brian and Gig Harbor, you guys spend a lot of time talking about the Seattle mayor. I honestly can't tell you who the Gig Harbor mayor is. Andy, I live here, or the Tacoma.
And I live here.
And I live here, or the Tacoma mayor, or any other mayor of any other city in the state.
Okay, so I'm here to help you, Brian. The mayor of Tacoma is Anders Ibsen, who, in fairness, I told him, you make a great point, because I don't think I've mentioned Anders Ibsen's name since he won. Cassie Franklin of Everett, she's the mayor there. She does make the news a little bit more often. The mayor of Bellevue, could you tell me who that is? Because I had to look it up. It's Mo Malakushin. I hope I pronounced that correctly. And Brian, the mayor of Gig Harbor, is Mary Barber.
There you go. News you can use.
Well, let me ask you, though. Do you think Seattle's mayor gets focused on because there's such a totem for whatever you either like or dislike about generally progressive politics?
Yes. And also, this is the biggest city in the state.
I think that's what that's.
I think that's the big thing.
I think it's more the latter, because we're kind of like the.
Yeah, but King County has an executive. King County includes Seattle, right? Like, we rarely talk about the King County executive.
Well, because the King County executive is not the one making the decisions for the city of Seattle. Yes, I mean, King County.
But think about homelessness.
But arguably bigger role being King County.
Yes, and this is how Dow Constantine got away from a lot of the scrutiny, because it's always focusing on the mayor.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
He skated.
Interesting.
Okay.
All right. The commonness of cursing. You want to?
No, you.
Okay. Allie and Lake Stevens. Let me be clear. I swear like a sailor, but I am very aware of my surroundings as I work in middle school. That is an absolute no. I swear in my home. The kids, on the other hand, their language is out of control. I always thought, what if staff talked to them the way they talk to staff or their peers? It would definitely be an issue. People need to remember that children learn by example and are always listening. Can I say, or you would? I just want to add to
Yes.
that. I just want to say, I think it starts from the very beginning. This whole concept of not calling teachers by their last name or not putting a miss or a mister. I think we have taken down the barrier between the hierarchy. And so the fact that kids feel comfortable cursing around teachers is
that's
not
not
surprising.
okay.
Kids
That
don't
is
call
not okay.
teachers, they call them by their first names?
Yes. At
Where?
least in the city of Seattle, it was like, oh, no, don't call me. Just call me Allie. Just call me.
Really?
For the teachers?
Yes.
Wow.
The ones my kids have been to.
Wow. Okay.
Greg?
Speaking of
How's
teachers,
class today with Greg?
I know.
That's bizarre.
Jack says, take it from Ursula's former guitar teacher. The girl's got a commendable 4-letter vocabulary.
Jack, calling
Thank you,
out.
Jack. From when she misses the chord, she doesn't exactly say, "Oh darn."
What do you say, Ursula?
Never mind. Never mind.
Dave says, you should hear me driving around Tacoma and Seattle in my dump truck all day.
And then Brenton Puyallup says, I'm 57. I grew up with it. I use it in daily conversation. My daughter's 16. I told her she can use it with her friends. However, if you direct it at me or another adult, we are going to have a problem.
All right, talking about rabid bats. Jerry in the 206. Bats are friends. They are a major reason mosquitoes and insects are not thick in the air. The Duwamish has a large population of bats, and we almost never see mosquitoes in West Seattle.
I want to mention the 60 cats on a boat because people are asking, well, what can you do when you have a feral cat situation? Lynn in Ballard says, I volunteer with the Feral Cat Spay and Neuter Project. We serve all populations of cats and kittens, trapped feral kitties, small rescues, lower income, privately owned kitties. In any one day, we will treat up to 55 of them. In addition to altering the animals, we also vaccinate, microchip, and treat for fleas and parasites and do all sorts of other things. So we've had a number of cats that were victims of hoarders. It is so tragic. I hope they got all of those cats off of that boat.
In fairness to this guy, by the way, apparently he said that the population really got out of control during COVID, in which he was not able to take the cats to get neutered or spayed. So, I mean, that was the thing.
Exactly. And we were asking,
what should happen? Yeah.
And it sounds like he just was in a lot of trouble. Yeah. Okay, with that, we are going to do our words to live by. And this is coming from the thing that you're going to see posted on our Gee and Ursula Show Facebook page, which is having those uncomfortable conversations.
Oh.
What should you do? One difficult conversation is better than a bunch of conversations that avoid the truth. And if you think having uncomfortable conversations is hard, wait until you see the results of not having them.
That's fair.
I'm trying to give you encouragement.
No, that's good. You got to go through the darkness to get to the light sometimes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Angela, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. I
Really
had so much fun.
Appreciate you. Chef, thank you. And our board op has been doing a great job with the training. Thank you so much. Appreciate you too. I didn't ever get his name.
Michael.
Thank you, Michael. You did a fantastic job. Jake and Spike are coming up next. I hope you have an amazing day. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Hope you have as much fun as we have. So long, everybody.
I've lived here almost my entire life.
Seattle's morning news host, Charlie Harger.
I love Seattle. I love that I'm able to raise my children here.
Hear Charlie's 7:35 commentary every morning on Seattle's morning news.
So when I see something that I think might need some attention, that's me pointing out areas of improvement. That is not me saying that Seattle is somehow bad.
You can watch all of Charlie's commentaries anytime on the KIRO Newsradio YouTube channel.
Washington drivers share the road with thousands of semi-trucks, but new reporting and federal investigations have unveiled that as many as 1 in 5 of those trucks are operated by chameleon carriers, trucking companies that rack up crashes and safety violations only to close and reopen under a new name with a clean record. If you've been injured in a trucking accident, time may be running out to recover. Call Davis Law Group today at 206-888-8888 or visit davislawgroupseattle.com.
This is it. These are the nights. The ones where you laugh until you can't anymore. And smile until your head hits the pillow. where everything feels just right. Because it is. Muckleshoot Casino Resort. Must be 21 and over. Please gamble responsibly.
Guys, I'll never forget the first time I saw somebody get results at our clinic. He was an 81-year-old man who hadn't been intimate with his wife in over 8 years. Viagra had stopped working for him, and he was desperate for help. After several treatments, he walked into my office and told me he couldn't believe the results. Needless to say, this was a very happy man. This man made me a believer in what we do. He had taken pills for years, but he had never fixed the problem. When he came to us, we fixed the problem. Our treatment does what no pill can do. So give West Coast Men's Health a call today. Speak with our clinic manager. Ask him any question you like, how it works, the science behind it, and even the cost. Change your life today, like the thousands of men who already have.
In addition to treating ED and Peyronie's disease, we now offer testosterone replacement therapy. With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call 206-519-6541. 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
So what are you reading?
I'm checking out the ratings on the new TVs, and it looks like Samsung, LG, and Sony got the best scores.
Just like last year. What about those new high dynamic range TVs?
They got the highest scores of all, but their prices are really high.
Did you check online?
Yeah, their prices were about the same.
Well, there's one place where we can get a hot deal on those top-rated models.
Where?
At Video Only. Check out the ratings on TV stores.
I see. Video Only scored better than the others.
So, if you want the best deal on the best TVs,
then we should take our TV ratings and head over to top-rated Video Only.
At Video Only, you won't find huge stores with refrigerators or microwaves, but you will find the best deals on top-rated TVs, soundbars, and monitors. Shop around. Just make sure you visit Video Only, because if you don't,
you'll be sorry.
In South Center, Bellevue, Linwood, Federal Way, and Tacoma, Video Only.
Progressive Insurance. Progressive can protect your home, auto, boat, motorcycle, ATV, RV, and more. In short, a lot of things. Bundle today at progressive.com.
Veterans and active duty service members. When your call to service ends, your mission doesn't have to. Go from GI to IT in just a few months at My Computer Career. Prepare for a high-demand career in cybersecurity, protecting people, systems, and institutions from real cyber threats. Cyber warriors are needed now. Will you answer the call? Go to mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to learn more. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP, an elite CompTIA certification partner. VA education benefits are available to those who qualify.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging